Listen to this. 5 ways men test women just to see how they act. Number 1, he'll put you in a setting with friends just to see how you behave around other men, because he want to see if you are the one for him. In order for him to see that, he has to know that you behave a certain way. See, men don't invest in things that don't know how to behave to the magnitude of what they believe is proper etiquette. See, when you're too friendly with the homeboys, then you're not for him. You might just be for the village. That's how men look at women. Number 2, he may talk about his past tense relationship just to see if you're jealous. Asking questions to see how you react to certain things that he's went through. See, when he say things like, yeah, my ex used to be jealous about, he's testing you to see if that you're the same way. And if you ultimately fail that test, he knows what label to put on you. Number 3, he'll test you to see your neediness. Sometimes a lot of women tend to believe that a man is a paycheck. And a lot of times the men that see that the woman thinks he's a paycheck ultimately only come for one mission. And once he accomplishes his mission, he is gone. He is unsubscribing and leaving that job alone because he's not a paycheck. He won't be a paycheck. See, the men that are conscious and understand this, they tend to test you. So they'll take you to a store just to see if you have very expensive taste. See, it's one thing to have expensive taste on your dime, but it's another to have it on his. Number 4, he'll ask questions like, how did your last relationship end? The reason why he's asking that is because he want to test your loyalty. He want to see, what did you do to the last man? So sometimes we play nice and play all friendly. Oh yeah, word, you did that to him? That's crazy, wow, word. But in the back of his mind, he's like, unfollow, instant block and delete. Number 5, he'll test if you drama. See, men don't like toxic women. And the reason why toxic women tend to get the most talked about nowadays is because most people are just toxic. And a real man who's established and have things to lose won't attach himself to something like that. See, when you're insecure and you're yelling and screaming and everything is not knowing how to explain and express yourself, a lot of the men that a lot of women say they won't attach themselves to that. Why would a man work this hard to build himself up, ultimately lose everything he's built for a very insecure, toxic woman? That don't even make sense. Don't let that go over your head.
Did you know that men test women in the beginning of their relationship to know on which level they can place you and how to treat you later on in this relationship? Whether you're going to be a respected woman, which can be in a long, nice relationship or marriage, or you are that type of girl which is going to be just a side piece sitting and wondering why is he treating you like that even though you don't deserve. So number 1 is the sexual test, where in the beginning of the relationship he is trying to see how far you're willing to go or how accessible you are. So in this moment, when you see that he is being in your zone, he is giving you this unnecessary touches by mistake, hugs, I don't know what, he's trying to be close to you when he shouldn't be, because a man's supposed to respect a woman. If you're a high valued woman, you're supposed to be respected, and he should know that he cannot come close to you, he cannot come into your zone unless you let him. So once that happens, you're supposed to set up a boundary, a very strong one, and to let him know that this is not the way, it's not going to be like that. Otherwise, if you will not do this, you will end up as being a side piece, which is only for fun, and you know where it goes. Number 2, it's a sarcasm test. If, for example, he starts throwing jokes, some jokes which can hurt you, some jokes which are not nice, sarcastic, evil jokes, mean jokes, and if you're gonna just sit and laugh with him about it, then you're done. He will be making fun of you the rest of the relationship, and when the things will be hard, he will be using bad language with you. So he will not be respecting you, and he will be crossing this language barrier where he can throw some disgusting, nasty words, and you don't want that, trust me. So when that happens, when he throws a joke and you don't like it, you should stop him. You should say, hey, I really don't like this. I don't like when people are being mean to me or they are throwing disgusting jokes, so please be nice. And he will know that he cannot just be mean to you, and he cannot throw this disgusting jokes. Trust me. They're testing the waters, how deep they can go and how much you are planning to swallow. And the last test is how he treats you. If from the beginning, if he starts treating you without the respect, if he keeps on putting you down, if he is trying to show you your place as a woman, sit in that corner, First of all, I don't recommend you. It's a red flag. It's a red flag if a guy does not treat you nice from the beginning. It's a red flag if using mean jokes and trying to be sarcastic with you in a disgusting way, even though if you try to stop him. It's a red flag when a guy is trying to be sexual with you in the beginning. This is not okay. So if you come across such people, such males, then please go away from them. You don't need these people in your life. So when the test about the treatment is when he is not trying to treat you nice, when he is trying to be not polite, when he's not being gentle, this is the time when in the beginning he has to be, as gentle as possible, as nice as possible, as romantic, as cute, and all this blah blah nice stuff. When he's not doing that, you just have to tell him that you are not happy with that in the beginning. And if he keeps on doing that, then girl, you know what to do. So that was the 3 tests which men do in the beginning of the relationship. So if you come across any of this and you're in the beginning of the relationship, because later on it's going to be so hard to come up, I mean, it's impossible to come up from this loop when he already tested and he saw that you can go that far. So, and then he'll be like, you were fine back then, what happened to you now? So my ladies, always know your value, always set your boundaries, because you are that high valued women.
The 4th way guys test women is by giving you space and physical distance. By consciously stepping back, a man might be checking to see if you pursue him, if you respect his need for space, or if the connection fades. This is rooted in the psychological need for independence within intimacy. By providing space, he's not only observing your response or absence, but also testing the strength and security of the bond. It's a barometer to determine if the relationship can thrive even when not constantly fueled by presence. Aristotle declared, "Whoever is delighted in solitude is either a wild beast or a god." The great Greek philosopher suggests that solitude can bring out extreme tendencies in individuals. 3 specific examples of what this could look like are: number 1, not texting or calling you for a day or 2. Number 2, taking a solo trip without inviting you. Number 3, spending a weekend away with friends without much contact.
How men test you before they respect you. First way men will test you is smashing. We become accustomed to you, the women, talking a big game. Oh, I'm not like all the other girls. Oh, this is not going to be easy. Oh, I'm not going to sleep with you on the first night. Once we press you just a little tiny bit, you fold like a cheap lawn chair. They're going to do this in a variety of different ways. It's going to be based off of whatever your trigger points are. So what I mean by that, for example, is if I'm a guy and I go out on a date with you, and in the process of me meeting you and getting to know you, I gain an understanding that the best reaction and response I get from you is when I love bomb you. So if I tell you, oh, you're just so beautiful. You're just so stunning and amazing. You're a dump truck. You're so voluptuous. I just can't believe how much I want to make you my wife. I just can't believe how much I want to make you the mother of my children. I just can't believe how much of a connection we're sharing on this very first date. It feels like I've known you forever. It feels like we've been together forever. It feels like we knew each other in a past life. When he can sense that if he makes you feel like this connection is so deep and so vast and so wide, and you guys are so close with each other, that you'll be persuaded and convinced that you don't need to do all the vetting process. You don't need to be patient. You don't need to wait for absolutely anything. You'll just jump right into it because this is already so deep. Oh, you guys are already connecting on such an intimate level. This is already going places that no other relationship in your entire life has ever went. It's a catch-22, because even if I date you with the intention of finding a wife, but I'm able to get access to you, to get access to your Squirtle, to have pineapples with you on the first date, second date, very early on, what's going to happen is my inclination or what I think of you in terms of how you represent a wife is going to be diminished, even though I came in with the mindset that I wanted to see if you could be a wife. That's the thing. Guys are actively testing you to see if you're not what they wanted you to be or thought you were. As a man, when I come to the realization that you're easily controlled by me, I don't respect you. I don't respect you at all. And I damn sure don't respect you enough to make you my wife. But I do recognize that the amount of control I have over you will make my life a lot easier, because I can utilize you for exactly what I want to utilize you for and discard of you when I don't feel like utilizing you any longer.
One way that guys test women: he won't text you back, or he'll disappear or go missing to see how you respond. Now, I'm not saying this is great, and in fact he could be doing this unconsciously or he can be doing it consciously. But when a guy goes missing or pulls away in that way, often it is a test, because part of it is seeing how you will respond to that. If you're going to be getting desperate, getting needy, texting him all the time, calling him all the time, attacking him, whatever it might be, or if you remain cool, you know your value, you set your standard, or in fact, if you end up moving on, that could be a sign, either way, that you'll send to him that, hey, if you still go missing, like, I'm not going to accept that. I'm a high value woman, and I'm going to be moving on and looking elsewhere. So either you fix that behavior, or I'm literally gone. Now, if you'd like to discover a 30-second trick to make any man desire you, click on my bio, follow us, and click on the link in there to get that. The third way that guys test women is testing your boundaries. When a man tests your boundaries, he is gauging where you stand and how much you will value yourself. He might push certain buttons or do things that might be slightly off-putting. Psychologically, boundaries are a reflection of self-worth and self-respect. By testing them, he's not only discerning what you'll accept, but also gauging his own place within those boundaries. It's an intricate dance of understanding mutual respect, personal limits, and the balance of power within the relationship. Screenwriter Jerome Cady said, "It's a wise man who knows where courage ends and stupidity begins." In testing boundaries, a man aims to find this balance. He's discerning mutual respect and the depth of understanding. 3 specific examples of what this could look like are: number 1, canceling plans last minute to gauge your reaction. Number 2, telling a borderline offensive joke with you. And number 3 is arriving late without an explanation.
Okay, ladies, the best thing that you can do when you are dating a man is you never ever let him think that he has you. You never ever let him think that he has some sort of emotional hold over you, that he can easily trigger your emotions, okay? Because here's the thing, men are going to test you, okay? They don't like to say this, but they test. They throw out tests, especially in the beginning stages, because he's trying to gauge how much you will tolerate and how much you won't tolerate, okay? He's trying to gauge, does this girl have very strong boundaries? They are going to be trying to gather as much information about you so that they can sit and they can really paint a picture of the type of woman you are. Then they're going to calculate. They're going to do some mental maths. They're going to calculate and see if they can maintain you, okay? If you go in, can they handle you? Can they deal with you? Can they cope with you, okay? So they are going to throw these little tests in the beginning to try and gauge what type of woman you are, what kind of woman you are, okay? Especially if you're someone who says, you know, I really stand on business. He's going to test that. He's going to be like, all right, let's see if she really is standing on business. Let's see if she really does have these strong boundaries that she keeps talking about. This is why, ladies, you need to be so firm with your boundaries, especially in the beginning stages, okay? Because they will test you. And one of the biggest tests that men use is emotional triggers, okay? They want to see if you have any emotional attachment to them, okay? So a guy may throw something at you, something that he thinks is going to upset you, something that's going to kind of put you on edge a little bit, right? And he's doing that deliberately to see if you're going to crumble, if you're going to panic, if you're going to give him an emotional reaction, because you got to remember, men love it when women are emotional because they know they have you. The women who end up winning are the women who are emotionally detached from men. They are the women that usually end up getting what they want from the men, because the man will forever be chasing her because he never ever knows whether he has her. That's the thing. So they will throw these tests at you. They will try to see, okay, is this girl emotionally attached to me? Does she have some sort of emotional attachment to me? Because I want to know if I've got her. This is what they do to you in the beginning, ladies, right? And this is where you have to be really, really smart. You never ever let a man believe or you never ever let a man see that he has any hold over your emotions, okay? So whatever he does, you're not bothered. You're not bothered. And this is not to say that you have to be the cool chick, right? The laid back chick, like no one likes her, right? Nobody likes a pick me. You can still be yourself. You can still be firm in your boundaries, but you just show that man that you're not triggered by what he's doing, because what he's doing is he's doing it deliberately. He's doing it deliberately to scare you, to make you panic, and then he's going to sit back and watch how you react. So you might start dating a guy, for example. You've gone on a couple of dates, it's going really well, and then out of the blue he tells you he has to leave the country, right? Now, most women will panic. They'll be like, oh my God, he's leaving the country. Like, does this mean he's not going to speak to me anymore? Like, am I not going to see this guy ever again? Is this his way of dumping me? This is what you have to do. You have to stay so calm, okay? So calm. You have to be so unbothered, okay? Because if somebody is going to be with you, they are going to be with you. Okay? Doesn't matter if a man has to quickly go to a different country, or he needs to fly off somewhere, or he needs to go, I don't know, on some random business trip. If he wants you, you're going to know he wants you. So don't panic. Don't panic. You're going to know he wants you. Just by his actions, you're going to see, okay, is he trying to keep this going? Okay, so a lot of women, they panic straight away. They go into panic mode. They start getting triggered, like, oh my God, this guy's going to leave me, you know. And some people have abandonment wounds, and unfortunately, a scenario like this will really trigger your abandonment wounds. This is why healing is so important. You've got to work on yourself. You cannot ever let this man, who literally just came into your life, have such an emotional hold over you like that. Think about it. You don't know this man that well. Okay, you've been on some really nice dates. You know, the convos are flowing. The chemistry's slowly building. But you don't know this man. You don't know this man. There is no reason why you should have an emotional attachment to him 4 or 5 dates in. No, it takes months to build a true emotional, deep connection with someone. Okay? So remember that next time when you're newly dating someone and they throw a little spanner in the works. Don't panic. Keep your calm. Keep your cool. Stay calm. Stay composed. Do not let that man see that you're emotionally attached. Because the minute he sees you're emotionally attached, he gets what he wants. He gets that validation. Because men know that women are emotional. So when he sees you getting emotional, when he sees you complaining, when he sees you, you know, expressing your fears, he's going to be like, I won. I've got this. Ladies, men do not think like us. To them, it's really just a game at the start. It's just, okay, can I win this woman over? Oh my God, I still haven't won her over, right? So you want to keep him in that state for a very long time, okay? And the women who win at this game are the women who keep that man forever chasing, right? So you always want to keep him on his toes, but not just keep him on his toes. You always want to keep him guessing. You know, why should this man have you straight away? Why? You've been on a couple of dates with him. Why does he get to have that emotional hold over you? Why? Your emotions are so sacred and precious as a woman. Control them. Learn to control them. Learn to regulate your emotions. This man does not deserve to see you get emotional. This man does not deserve to get that emotional validation from you so early on in a relationship. So keep your calm, keep your cool, stay composed. Fill your time up with things that you are passionate about, that bring you joy, that bring you fulfillment, and ignore that man. And I promise you, that man is going to be chasing you, and he is not going to stop chasing you. Because if you show you're unbothered, if you show that you're strong, if you show that you have really strong boundaries, your value instantly goes up, ladies. Your value goes up, okay? Because you are communicating to that man that you're not the only one. I have a list of options, and I have the world is my oyster. So you can fly off to wherever you need to. And if you want me, you're going to put in some work. If you don't, go find someone else. Maybe you can go find someone in a different country. But why do you care? Because then you know what kind of guy he is and you don't want him, right? Think about it. You don't want him. So in the beginning stages, ladies, you are also testing the man, okay? You want to see, you want to gauge his kind of interest levels in you, right? So stay strong, stay composed, learn how to control your emotions. That is one of the best things that you can do as a woman, is to control your emotions.
4 ways that guys test women. Now, as a dating and relationship expert for over 13 years, these are some of the big tests that I've seen. Number 1 is the response gap. And this is when a man simply doesn't respond for a certain period of time to see what you do. Do you start chasing him, or are you okay with the tension? Number 2 is the queen test. A man will purposely start treating you like a queen, like a high-value woman, to see how you respond. Are you actually a queen, or do you not receive it? The sticky situation test. This is where something will happen, where a car will break down, something will go wrong, and he wants to see how you will react to that. Do you become dramatic, or are you actually cool and able to work through it? And number 4 is the family and friends test. When he introduced you to his friends and family, do they actually like you? Now, if you'd like to learn how to pass these tests with flying colors, take our free Love Patterns quiz by going to getlovequiz.com or click on my bio, follow us, and click on the link in there to get that.
Men test women in ways they don't even realize. The most women fail without knowing why. Men test women subconsciously, not to play games, but to see how she responds to pressure. He might pull back emotionally to see if you chase. He might tease you to see if you're confident in yourself. He might act indecisive just to see if you take the lead. These tests aren't always intentional, but they reveal everything about your self-worth. A confident woman passes without even trying because she doesn't react, she responds. So the secret is to not play into the test. Stay secure, set your standards, and let them realize you're the one worth chasing.
Here's a quick way that men test women while dating. Men will constantly test how quickly they can get a woman into bed as early on as possible to really see whether or not they're relationship material. I know this is crazy, but bear with me. A guy will push on a first date, second date, third date to sleep with a woman, and then when he gets what it is that he wants, the test has actually failed. How messed up is that? I've actually talked to guys who were upset that a woman slept with him on the first date, even though he was trying to. So what does this crazy mind really mean? If a woman slows things down and paces things, shows restraint, her value increases exponentially in his eyes. Even though he's not getting what it is that he wants, he's now getting what it is that he needs, which is a woman who values herself and slows down, gets to know someone before jumping into bed. I know it's not fair, but it's just how the world works. Slow down, pace, get to know the guy before jumping into bed with him. I assure you, it's going to make your love life much less complicated.
One common way that men test women. The way they do this is by giving you space. So actually either pulling back, creating a situation where you guys aren't connected, whether that's him traveling, whether that's him having a busy schedule, doing something where you guys can't connect together, because he actually wants to see how do you react in that space. Do you actually get anxious? Do you become controlling? Do you become the desperate girlfriend that starts to text him all the time, show up to his house, calling all the time? And the reason it's usually a test is he just does this once or twice. He kind of gauges the waters. And if he sees that you're able to handle that space well without freaking out, getting insecure, anxious, depressed, then he can see, oh, this is actually a woman who I could see having a healthy relationship with, an interdependent relationship with, interdependent, standing like this, where you're not codependent. You're not leaning on each other for all of your needs to be met emotionally, physically, mentally. So he wants to see, can you actually have a healthy balance? And now this is also, of course, assuming that he's a healthy guy that is wanting that and that is capable of that himself, to have a healthy interdependent relationship, not a completely independent relationship or a codependent relationship. Now, if you'd like to take our free relationship diagnostic to get the man and relationship you want, go ahead and click on my bio, follow us, and click on the link there to go pick that up.
This is the exact moment that your ex is going to regret leaving you, and you can use this with really any kind of relationship in the future. Now, when somebody changes the rules of the relationship, right, and they break up with you, they say, I don't want to be with you anymore. Excuse me. I don't want to be with you anymore. I don't want to participate in this. I don't want to do this. Most people handle breakups wrong and start chasing, pursuing, trying to change the ex's mind. Now, I understand why you guys are doing this. I understand why it's very painful, right? It's like that diagram where it's the two circles on left and right, and then they blend in the middle. I can't remember what it's called. But the longer you guys are together, the more blended those become. So when you guys go through a breakup, the one person is already pulled away, right? And you're still stuck here, living that blended life, so to speak. Then you need to pull your energy back and let go. Now, again, I know it's hard. It sucks. But when I get my students to do this, it always works out better for them in the future, because first of all, we focus on the individual issues. Maybe there's attachment issues. Maybe there's some sort of financial problem. Okay, so we're fixing the financial problem. We're fixing the emotional issues and the attachment issues. Now, a lot of the time, they'll get to a point where the dumpee realizes they don't even want the dumper anymore. They don't want that girl back or that guy back. So if they did come back, they just reject them, right? What I say is increase your power level, right? Get back up to that point where you were before the relationship, or even better. And when you do that, oddly enough, I don't know if it's the universe or God or whatever it is, but when you get back to that mindset of abundance and the lack of fucks to give, that's always when your ex will reach out to you. It's when you let them go. It's when you're comfortable in your own space. You're comfortable in your individuality. Again, remember the 2 circles? Remember getting them back. So when you first start a relationship, that's how you are. You're a whole person. So all this other half is trash. It doesn't make any sense. You're a whole complete person, especially if you work on yourself a lot, and you need to take that whole complete person and share it with somebody else. So that's when your ex will regret dumping you and leaving you, and you know, your breakup they'll come back around. That's what happened with me. And it's always when you're doing something for yourself. For example, in my program, now I'm not trying to pitch this or sell this to you, don't take it that way. But in my program, the students that are in there, when they're building their businesses, I have like 3 or 4 people building a blog right now, right? And they'll be doing their posts every single day. And out of nowhere, 2 months, 3 months later, right? We're working hard, we're going through it, because I do daily calls with these guys. And literally, hey Kyle, guess what happened? Hey Kyle, guess what happened? And I'm like, show me the message. It's like clockwork. If you understand how to do this right, you get 2 things that you've always really wanted. First, a better life, because you get to focus on the things that you were missing. And then of course you get your ex to come back or whatever, right? And then you get to decide what to do from there. If you don't want them back, tell them to go fuck off, right? That's up to you. Done.
3 signs that your ex is starting to regret breaking up with you. Pay attention to this, because regret is what always comes before your ex apologizing and trying to get back in a relationship with you. Sign number 1 is that they start to find excuses to contact you. If your ex has started to watch your stories and they're reaching out to you consistently every day or every other day, it shows that they're missing you and they're starting to regret leaving you. That's a good sign. Stay the course. Sign number 2 is that they start to ask if you're dating anyone else or if you've moved on. And if you say anything about dating anyone else, they start to get upset. This is a good sign. They regret their decision. Sign number 3 is that they ask to see you. Now, not randomly popping up at your house, but they make intentions to take you on a date.
So yes, men do this all the time. I've done this, the regret, the reflection of a good woman. The thing is, those are lessons for us to be the people who are meant to be, to respect ourselves, to respect other people's time. The thing is, the reason why I put those women in those positions of not respecting and not respecting their time is because I didn't see them as long-term partners. So why I was doing all those things, stringing along, not giving, not committing, was because those are not someone I want to be with. They're good women, but I wasn't ready and they weren't my person. So if I met those same women today after doing the work on myself, I still wouldn't be with them. It's just the process would be I will respect their time and openly communicate, hey, I just don't like you in that way. And could we be casual or could we just move on? But they are good women, they're just not my woman. So if you're in that position, they do reflect and regret, but just know you never were theirs.
This is the exact moment that your ex will regret the breakup, and not a moment sooner. So if you're struggling with this, I want you to watch this video. I promise you'll find it helpful. So there's a saying in human nature that says that familiarity breeds contempt. And what this essentially means is if you're the type of person that was so invested in your ex, like you cared about this person so much that you went above and beyond to show them that they were loved, to show them that they were appreciated, and to show them that they were valued. And your ex has essentially got to a point where they are so spoiled and they are so familiar with being treated like royalty, they've essentially started to take it for granted. They've started to take your kindness for weakness, and they've started to take your love for insecurity. And so your ex has gotten to this place where they are high on the hog, and they think that they can do you wrong, they can treat you poorly, they can go date other people, and not only are they going to find someone else better than you, you are always going to be an option. They can leave you and come back whenever they feel like it. Now, on some level, you're probably hurt. You want to get through to this person. You've invested so much, and so you don't want to lose them. You want to fix the problems just by having a conversation. The reality is there's nothing you can say that can make your ex really come to terms with the fact that they are losing something special until you actually walk away and mean it. Your ex has to suffer the consequences of their decisions, and there's nothing really that words can do to convey those emotions like you leaving them permanently. See, there's a saying from one of my favorite directors, David Finch, that says, I don't care so much of what people say as I care about their actions. Because as far as I'm concerned, language was only invented so that people can lie to each other. And this is the truth. You can posture all day long. You can say that you're done. You can say that you're moving on. Your ex will never really appreciate what they are losing until you walk away from their life. And when they suffer the consequences, when they realize the grass is only green where you water it, you know, you only get profit where you invest, right? This is when they'll realize what they lost and they will regret their decision. And at that point, it might be too late. You might feel like you don't want to give them another chance. You don't want to fix the relationship. You want someone who would do right by you the first time they had the opportunity to do so. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
If you are wondering if he will regret you, he will regret breaking up with you. He may miss you and he may want to come back and sweep you off your feet again. I'll break it down to you why that's not the case. And I'm going to tell you because it's necessary. I'm going to tell you because you need to freaking move on and heal. And this is coming from a guy who's been and thin and seen it all, okay? A man who actually, first off, takes the time to reflect on himself and his actions and who he wants to become and be self-reflective of how he could have been better will regret how he treated you. But that does not mean he's gonna want you back. He will regret how he treated you, but he will not regret leaving you. I'll explain. And again, I'm not saying this to make you feel bad. You're fantastic. His actions were not fair to you or to anyone else. And it's a good thing that you're not in this. A good thing. You got to understand that if he saw all the rom-coms you did, he saw the Disney movies, he knows what it takes to be a decent human being, yet he's making the choice to be disrespectful, to be immature, to play games. He is not in a place of where he needs to be. He is a product of confusion, of anxiety, of questioning himself and who he even wants. He's not even wondering what he wants. And you are a product of that. Because if a man reflects and regrets, that means he's taking the time to see what his issues were. He's taking the time to realize how he should be better. And he will look back and say, you were just a product of a person I no longer am. So why would it even work today? I wasn't even that person back then. So why would I be with you now? Because I am different. I could have done a better job ending it, but I don't regret actually ending it. And I say this so you could focus on you. I say this so you could stop wasting precious energy that he's taking up, wondering if he comes back, wondering if he misses you, wondering if he regrets you. Girl, it is over. It is time to put that energy on you. What do you do where you are proud of yourself, where you no longer have these thoughts anymore? That you thank the stars that he wasn't ready, because it wasn't meant to be. You are living in abundance, not scarcity in these streets. And you should be proud of yourself. Need help with dating, love, relationships? I'm starting my 8-week program. I'm looking for 3 ladies. Link in the bio. Let's chat.
Not every breakup hits a man the same way, but let me tell you, when a man realizes that he lost a real one, the regret is real. These things are what really makes a man regret losing his woman. Number one, the genuine love and the support. When he looks back and realizes that you were his biggest supporter, you were the one who believed in him even when he didn't believe in himself, that is a tough loss to swallow. Number two, the emotional safety and understanding that she gave him. Now, men don't always open up, but when men finally find somebody to help them open up and be vulnerable, that's rare. So losing that kind of connection definitely stings. Number three, it's the peace over the drama. Ladies, if you've brought peace into his life instead of chaos, trust me when I tell you, when you leave, it's a big difference. And he definitely notices the difference once you gone. Number four, having a woman who helped him grow. If you challenged that man to be better, pushed him toward his goals, you helped him mature, the impact does not fade, especially when he realizes all women are not doing that. Number five, the sickest part of it all, when she moves on and glows up. Nothing, and I mean nothing, makes a man reflect harder than seeing his ex-woman move on and up, genuinely being happy without him. The truth is, men do not always process regret immediately, but when they do, it's usually because they lost a woman who added value to their lives. Share this if you know your worth. Make sure y'all follow me for more tips. And if you need a one-on-one coaching session with me, the link is in my bio. King Crane. Peace.
Statistically speaking, on average, men tend to regret breakups a lot more than women do. Researchers tracked 5,705 participants across 96 different countries and found that while women may feel more hurt and pain initially from the breakup, they tend to move on and get over it faster and more fully, whereas some men may never get over the breakup, and that's where the phrase "a man never forgets his first love" comes from. Despite the idea and stereotype that women are more emotionally involved in romance, a 2021 international study found that men tend to experience more pain than a woman does after a split, and this makes a lot of sense when you take into consideration another study that was done in 2024 from the behavioral and brain sciences that indicate that romantic partnerships mean a lot more to men because men tend to benefit more from romantic relationships with a woman. Interestingly enough, from that same study, there was one survey conducted from 1,400 men who dumped their partners, and out of the 1,400 men who dumped their partners, 76.5 of them said that within 60 days, they regretted breaking up with their partner, with their woman. And with all the information and data that's out there, it tells me that one of the reasons as to why men tend to regret the breakup more than the woman does is because men have a tendency to be a lot more impulsive than women do. I'm sure you've heard this stereotype that women cannot be trusted to make rational decisions because they're hypersensitive and overly emotional. Well, the data actually shows the contrary. Women tend to be a lot more logical thinkers than men think they are. A clear example of that would be the stock market. Women tend to outperform men in investing because they stay on course despite the rise and fall of the stock market. They don't panic and pull their money out of stocks as soon as it starts falling. Men oftentimes do, though. There's hella other studies that have also been done that clearly indicate that men and women have nearly the same amount of emotions. The only difference is that we tend to bottle them in, which leads us to making impulsive decisions because we have so much emotion built in. A breakup is one of those examples. And why do you think men come back to a woman's life? Because they made a decision that they're now regretting. Women, on the other hand, will carefully consider the pros and cons of what they're about to do, and they make a decision based on something that they've carefully considered. So even though women tend to take a little longer to get over the relationship, when they do it, they get over it fully and well, while men sometimes may never get over it.
Ever noticed how the atmosphere shifts when you're not around? How the energy feels just a little bit different, a little bit emptier? That is not a coincidence. Your presence carries weight. It moves people, whether they admit it or not. See, when you're someone who is genuine, kind, and rare, people may not always acknowledge it, but they feel it. Your warmth, your loyalty, your effort, these are things that don't go unnoticed, even if they go unspoken. And when you step back, oof, they definitely feel that too. But here's the thing, most people won't tell you that. Their pride won't allow it. They'll act like nothing has changed, like your absence doesn't matter. But deep down, they recognize it. They recognize the space you once filled, the love you gave so freely, the support you offered without expecting anything in return. Not everyone is built like you. Not everyone has the heart to give like you, to love like you, to stand with pure intentions the way you do. And because of that, people get comfortable. They assume you will always be there, always showing up, always pouring into them, until one day you don't. One day you wake up and realize something powerful. You deserve the same love, the same effort, the same respect you have been so willing to give to others. And when that moment comes, when you decide to pull back and protect your energy, the shift is undeniable. They'll search for your energy in others, try to replace what you brought into their life, but they won't succeed because you are one of one. Your energy, unmatched. So never doubt your worth. Never shrink yourself to fit into spaces that don't honor you. And if you ever have to walk away, remember this: you are not losing them. They are losing you. Keep protecting your light. Keep being real. Keep showing up for yourself the way you have always shown up for others. And trust me, the right people, they will never have to lose you to understand your value. I love you. Always.
They'll either pop up confused or go quiet because now they're the anxious ones. You might have thought that they've moved on because they're silent, but I'm gonna keep it real with you. Dismissive avoidance, they don't feel that loss right away. They feel it when you stop being available to them. The text that they ignored, the space they demanded from you, the attention they took for granted, that's what hits them after a few weeks or even a few months of your silence, especially if you've shifted. They can feel the energy. I tell people this all the time. They can feel when thoughts are things, thoughts are vibrations. When they don't feel that vibration anymore, that's when they start to reach out. And most people break no contact way too soon. But if you're gone long enough, they'll start to feel that absence. And I'm not gonna lie to you about this. What do I have to gain? If you stay gone long enough, right? They'll start to feel that absence. They won't just notice it, they'll feel it. And when that happens, they'll either pop up confused or go quiet because now they're the anxious ones.
I think it's so funny when a guy fumbles a really good girl and he just acts all nonchalant about it, like it doesn't faze him. And I'm just like heartbroken for you, bro. Like, you really fumbled a dime piece that I don't even know why I was dating you in the first place. And then you somehow managed to fuck it up and end up back on your own, which you're going to find out later real fast that was the best you could ever get.
When a man fumbles a good woman and he knows that he fumbles a good woman, trust me, this goes with him for the rest of his life. No matter if he's in a new relationship, if he's married, if you're the one that got away, he's thinking about you all the time. And if he knows that he fumbled you, this guy will try to hit you up every week, every month, every year, still trying to get you back. Women, you tend to stay longer than you should because you think that his behavior is going to change. Even if you decide to marry this guy, his behavior is never going to change until you actually walk the fuck away. And 9 times out of 10, you don't realize it, but walking away is actually a blessing. If he shows you who he is, you have to believe that man the first time he shows you. And there's no reward for staying and putting up with bullshit. It's just you get more bullshit. The biggest lesson to learn is when to walk away. I've created a book on walking away from him and attracting better men. It's helped hundreds of women already. Go snag my book above. You can download it right here.
What are men doing wrong?
Oh, a lot. Whether it's the chicken or the egg, the men are not asking women out. Now, the bottom line is we're having a problem post-pandemic where men are not asking women out. I don't know if it's a white man disease right now.
I think it's soy milk.
They're afraid they're going to get
I'll tell you what it is.
canceled.
My experience pre-Lauren, when I was running around my single days, like we didn't have the apps, and if you saw a woman, you had to go up.
Right. At the bar, the restaurant, the gas station, they used to come up to you at Whole Foods and say, hey, can you help me with this? Is this a good salad dressing?
Yeah, and you had to show you were interested, and you had to say something.
Take their number.
It is harder, I think, and also because
But you
of that.
saw what you're getting in person, so you knew that it wasn't a lie
That's
on
true.
the apps.
And because of that, also, I think when you found somebody, you were much more
Interested.
Yeah, you stayed longer.
The
because,
level of interest is higher.
Yeah, and I didn't have 18 other options, right? There was,
If this doesn't work out, fuck her. I'm going to go to the next one.
Now it's like, hey, I have 15 things. They didn't check one of the things. Let me swipe 18 other times. I'm done with this one.
He's not giving you any attention, and you know that the reason is that he doesn't feel like it. And because you don't understand what happened, what made him change, you nag about it. You think that it's really necessary for him to know how much he's hurting you by not giving you any attention. Because once he knows, he will feel bad about himself, and he will start to be busy with you again. And although I always say that if you want anything from a man, you have to ask him. The one thing you should never ask for is his love and attention. Because by you asking and nagging about not getting any attention, the message he he gets is that you're needy and that you're desperate. The way to actually get a man's attention is to start by not giving him yours. You need to give all the attention you have given to him to yourself. Because you've made your own happiness become dependent on if he gives you attention or not. And the second thing you need to do is you need to go back to the beginning of the relationship and remember how you were treating him then. Because yes, of course he changed. He got more settled in his relationship. He doesn't feel the need anymore to pursue you all the time because now you've been together for a while. But you've also changed. Maybe in the beginning when he would take you to beautiful restaurants, you were like all grateful and appreciative. But after a while, you got used to that too. And if there's one thing I know about men is that they have a very sensitive ego and they need constant appreciation, even for the smallest things. Think of it like this. Appreciation is like oxygen to them and it inflates their ego. And a man with an inflated ego feels good about himself. So if you can be that woman who makes him feel better about himself, you're gonna get all the attention you want. He's not giving you any attention and you know that the reason is that he doesn't feel like it. And because you don't understand what happened, what made him change, you nag about it. You think that it's really necessary for him to know how much he's hurting you by not giving you any attention. Because once he knows, he will feel bad about himself and he will start to be busy with you again. And although I always say that if you want anything from a man, you have to ask him. The one thing you should never ask for is his love and attention. Because by you asking and nagging about not getting any attention, the message he gets is that you're needy and that you're desperate. The way to actually get a man's attention is to start by not giving him yours. You need to give all the attention you have given to him to yourself. Because you've made your own happiness become dependent on if he gives you attention or not. And the second thing you need to do is you need to go back to the beginning of the relationship and remember how you were treating him then. Because yes, of course he changed. He got more settled in his relationship. He doesn't feel the need anymore to pursue you all the time because now you've been together for a while. But you've also changed. Maybe in the beginning when he would take you to beautiful restaurants, you were like all grateful and appreciative. But after a while, you got used to that too. And if there's one thing I know about men is that they have a very sensitive ego and they need constant appreciation, even for the smallest things. Think of it like this. Appreciation is like oxygen to them and it inflates their ego. And a man with an inflated ego feels good about himself. So if you can be that woman who makes him feel better about himself, you're gonna get all the attention you want.
Guys get friend-zoned, but girls get fuck-zoned. A boy stops talking to us suddenly after he gets a girlfriend, or starts ghosting us after we reject his first move. A friendship that we valued, we thought mattered, if only just a little to him, turned out not to matter at all. But in the end, we're the bad guys. We're the ones who lead the good guys on. Of course, we should just expect that's what you always want. We should just expect that friendship is never as valuable as a twist of our hand. They got friend-zoned. They only lost another girl, another rejection. But we lost a friend, someone we thought was worth more. We lost a friend.
Men are celebrating because women are complaining that guys are not approaching them and asking them out anymore. Fellas, this is not a win. Don't miss out on a chance at finding love because you're afraid a woman might call you creepy, or because she might accuse you of harassment, or because your wife might find out. Prove to your practice wife that you can still be romantic by landing a girlfriend.
Follow for more like this.
I have a lot of ladies saying, well, I don't get attention when I go. Okay, but you're used to going out and Dusty's hitting on you. Wealthy men don't hit on you like Dusty's do. Wealthy men don't rush you as soon as you walk in, okay? They're different. Quality versus quantity, okay? So a lot of women are used to walking in a place and say, what's your name? Oh, hi, how are you? You know, my name is da-da-da-da. You know, you look so fine. That's not going to happen in areas where people have money. You said James did that for me. Exactly, but I wasn't in a wealthy area. I was in between. Like I was in the medical center, and the medical center is between everything, you know. So you have a mix of people. So I didn't know. I wasn't even trying to freestyle, so it doesn't count. But if you expect people to just rush you, then it's going to be a little bit disappointing when they don't. You know, James didn't rush me, but he did approach me respectably.
For over 40 years, women have told men to leave them alone. Don't approach me, you creep, they would all say. And it turns out if you keep telling men to stay away from you, they will. Modern women are going on TikTok to whine about men not approaching them. Back in the day, it was simple. A guy saw a pretty woman, walked up to her and said hi. Of course, women called that predatory and patriarchy, and now everything's messed up. Men not approaching women anymore.
I love the women who complain that they can't find a man. Ugh, why am I single? Ugh, I can't find a good guy anywhere. I'll tell you why. You stay at home all day. You sit in bed all night and scroll on TikTok and Instagram Reels. Your Instagram is private. You never answer any text messages. And whenever somebody looks at you in the street, you look at them like this. Ugh. That's why you cannot find a man. I love the women who complain that they can't find a man. Ugh, why am I single? Ugh, I can't find a good guy anywhere. I'll tell you why. You stay at home all day. You sit in bed all night and scroll on TikTok and Instagram Reels. Your Instagram is private. You never answer any text messages. And whenever somebody looks at you in the street, you look at them like this. Ugh. That's why you cannot find a man.
So, if you're somebody that keeps saying, oh, but I go out everywhere and they don't approach me, they don't come up to me, they don't do this. See, if you're somebody who wants to be approached and never gets approached, the number one variable is approachability. It doesn't matter where you market that product of yours. If the product doesn't say, I'm open for business, you could be spending all your marketing budget on some ridiculous shit, but if you are not approachable, if your body language isn't open, if your face is soft, if you can't make eye contact, if you can't even lend a little bit of a smile send down that fucking path, then you could forget about it. You could forget about it. You could walk around with your RBF, you could do all that, but I'm gonna let you know, just don't complain about why nobody's gonna come up to you and talk to you. The number one factor is approachability. Guys approach women who are approachable. And if you don't want to be approached, that's okay. Continue to do what you do. Ain't nobody going to complain. We just don't want to hear you yapping about it later and talking about, well, why ain't they approaching me? They're not approaching you because your store says closed. You're not open for business. You have no interest in being open for business. And every guy is going to know that. And they're going to stay the hell away from you. Unless you change that approachability factor. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't want to be approached, don't listen to this. This message isn't for you. But if you do want to be approached, the number one variable it's not about where you put yourself. It's about, are you even open for business in the first place? Are you approachable at all in the first place? Does your body language say that? Do your eyes say that? Sick of you.
I'm going to make this really, really simple for you, okay? So just listen up. Harassing women versus going up to them and having a conversation with them when they make it clear that they want to be talked to are two completely different things. And if you do not know the difference between those situations, then I highly, highly recommend don't approach them. I'm not sure how me walking outside and being catcalled and being said, hey baby, hey, you look good today. Oh, your dog's so cute. Hey, convince your mommy to let me take her out to dinner is even in the same realm for you as just approaching a woman, having a conversation and asking her out. Once again, if you really can't tell the difference, just don't approach her. I guarantee you she will be really thankful for it.
If you go out and you are receiving non-stop attention, you need to go home and change. You look cheap and you look easy. I'm gonna tell you the most counterintuitive thing you've ever heard. And I know, it makes no sense. But hear me out. When you do go out with friends or on dates or whatever the case may be, and barely any men come up to you, few, once in a while, whatever, that's how you know you did it right. You need to look expensive. You need to look like, if you are going to approach me, am I in your price range? Because this hoo-ha ain't cheap. And here's a tip to do it. Pick one asset and show that. So it's either your boobs, your butt, your legs, your back. Show no more than that. Men like a little mystery. If you show everything, what do they need you for? They can see every little curve on your body. They've seen it. What's to do? Pick one body part and accentuate that. So if you go out and you're feeling so good and every man at that bar is hitting on you, girl, go home. Nothing good will come of it. And the men who do hit on you are trash. You look easy as fuck. I know that's harsh, but Mommy's here to help you. I love you.
The most frustrating thing about men is the fact that they refuse to acknowledge when they are being flirted with. We'll go, "You're so handsome," and they just go. They look so confused to the point where you're like, they obviously want nothing to do with me. That's okay. Won't do that again. And later you find out they liked you the whole time. So, what?
I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't drink anything without feeling pain. True pain.
If you want to get a guy to come running back after you, like I mean chasing after you, completely changing the way he is acting towards you, this video is for you. First, you need to make sure that you are not obsessing over him, putting him on the pedestal, because trust me, the more obsessed you are with yourself, the more they will be obsessed with you. Don't believe me, try it out. Just stop prioritizing them, stop thinking about them 24/7, and see how quickly they will start chasing after you. Number 2 is so important. That is changing the way that you view them. Right now, you might be viewing them as that guy that doesn't want you, that's being difficult and not prioritizing you. You need to change your mindset. Whenever you catch yourself thinking about him in your mind, you're going to be telling yourself he is constantly thinking about you, he misses you, he wants to be with you. I know this sounds a little delulu, but trust me, it works. If you don't believe me, check out the success stories at the top of my page. People are literally just manifesting their exes to come crawling back by just changing the way that they are talking to themselves throughout the day. It is that simple.
Girl, he is going to run back to you tonight. This is for the girls who really missed their person and just want them back. Apply these affirmations into your life. He is coming back to you and he cannot stay away from you. He knows that you are everything that he has ever wanted. He misses you more than he can even handle. The thought of losing you scares him. He is just overwhelmed with love and regret. He wants to come back to you with open arms and a full heart. He knows that you're the one for him, that no one else compares. Every step he takes leads him right back to you. He is ready to do whatever it takes to get you back. You're like a magnet that he cannot resist. He's going to show up and confess everything that he has been feeling to you. He knows in his heart that you two are meant to be. He's going to reach out to you tonight, either by text message or phone call. Claim these affirmations if you want this to happen to you.
Alright ladies, this is how you get him back. Let's be so for real right now. If you're gonna try to get him back, you're not gonna do it by begging, chasing, or trauma dumping at 1 a.m. Alright, here's the game plan. Number 1, go silent. You gotta stop posting the sad quotes. You gotta stop sending the I miss you text. You gotta let it hit him where it hurts, his ego. Step 2, it's time to glow up, inside and out. And yeah, it might make him a little jealous if he sees you're out partying or having fun all the time, but it's not going to make him want you back. It's time to change up the routine. Hit the gym, change your style, really work on that glow up. When you've healed and you're good without him, he's going to feel it. And number 3 in the game plan, because you're most likely not talking to each other, this is where social media is going to be your friend. You want to post like your life has gotten better. And I am absolutely not talking about posting thirst traps or bikini pics at the beach or the pool. I'm talking about posting, getting coffee with your friends, trying new hobbies, smiling for real. You want to make it look like your life is something he wants access to again, not your body. And when he hits you up to test the waters, don't be so eager to bite. When he left, he thought you would fold, and so getting him back isn't even about having him again. It's about the power of being able to choose that you want him back once you've leveled up in your life.
Hey bestie, welcome to my series, How to Get Your Ex Back in 10 Days. This is my new series that I thought I would start for y'all, and it literally is just how to get your ex back in 10 days. That's what the people wanted. That's what I'm gonna give them. Would I want to make a series about how to get your ex back in 10 days? It wouldn't be my first pick, but I would do it for y'all, okay? And I know there's some crazy bitches out there, and I get it. And sometimes it is just for the revenge plot. But what have I done? I have put together a 10-day spellbinding series of seduction rituals, mind games, and magnetic energy show. We're turning into a crazy bitch. Crazy demure mindful bitch. And a sexy hot one. Let me also say that you can do this even if your ex broke up with you like 5 months ago. It doesn't have to be if your ex broke up with you today. Like, if you just realized you want your ex back, that's fine. It's never too late, babe. He probably hasn't gone very far. Not in those Skechers. Alright, let's start with day 1. Day 1 is not really about texting him, running up to him, screaming at him, take us back. It's about more so stepping back into our power so that we are strong enough and confident enough to do this in 10 days. Because if we ever doubt ourselves and ability to get our ex back, we're not going to get him back. Bottom line. If you doubt it, it's not going to happen. You fully believe that you're able to do it. So let's talk about some psychology we're going to use today. We're going to use actively embodied cognition to reframe how we think about ourselves. We're going to speak over ourselves and refocus our value. Oh, and then on him, we're going to use perceived scarcity. And he's going to be like, she's getting away from me. All right, my sexy psychologist, let's get into it. Here is your daily guide. Remember, day 1 is about you, not about him at all, really. But I'm going to give you 2 things that you're going to do for yourself. 1 thing that you're going to do to make him, like, notice you again. Okay. First thing that you're going to do in the morning is the morning ritual. You're going to dress like the girl that he fell for. So whatever you looked like when y'all first got together, dress up as her. I don't care if y'all dated like 6 years ago. Dress up as her. You're dressing up to her to remember who you were when he had you, things he liked about you at that time. And then we're going to go to the mirror and we're going to look at ourselves and we're going to level her up. Okay, that's who I was, but who am I now? And this is what you're going to say to yourself. You're going to say this affirmation in the mirror. He did not leave me. He left his only chance at love. Look in the mirror and say, he did not leave me. He left his only chance at love. You are basically healing that little girl that just got broken. And that is the first step in healing yourself, healing your inner wounds to be able to shine brighter on the outside. Okay, this is starting confidence recalibration. We're re-imprinting ourselves with value and we're stepping back into our power. Another thing I want you to say, every time you're sad about this or you feel like you're about to cry, stop and say, we are not mourning him, we are haunting him. That's crazy. Sounds crazy. Okay, next, it's afternoon. What are you gonna do? Stand back in front of the mirror and you're gonna pretend that you're falling in love with yourself. And you're gonna say, he did not leave me. I am the fantasy he wakes from and the dreams he can't return to. Say it with me. He did not leave me. I am the fantasy he wakes from and the dreams he can't return to. And then you're gonna look at yourself and you're gonna turn and walk away, like how he turned and walked away from you. What is this doing? This is the self-affirmation theory. We are speaking power over ourselves to reframe our brain and refocus on our values. Because we are not the loss here, okay? We're not the loss. He lost us. We didn't lose anything. If anything, we gained more power. All right, so now that you've affirmed yourself in the mirror and you've refocused your value, which you need to do, by the way, don't skip that step. I know it's silly. I know the rituals and spells are silly. It's going to reframe your entire brain in the process. All right, now let's have some fun. You're going to post a photo, a TikTok, an Instagram, or a Snapchat, and it's going to be subtle but seductive. Yes, we're going back to the old but goodies, the revenge post. The, oh, you just broke up with me? Look how hot I just got post. Blow up post. I don't care if it's the same day that he broke up with you. You're already fine. Pat those tears away. Selfie. You're fine. What are we going to do? It's going to be slight and seductive. Not going to be like, none of that, okay? It's just like, little pout face. I don't know. You're going to post and you're going to use a very like sexy, seductive song. What do you want people to think when they see this photo? Music can do that. Music has the power to do that. Pick a sexy song. I think Nessa Barrett has some good ones. Lana Del Rey. Like some really divine feminine energy. What are we doing here? He's scared. He's scared. He just saw how hot we got all of a sudden. He's like, am I going to lose her? And that is like a little trick in his brain. I mean, at first he might not care because he just broke up with you, but it still shows him that you're still hot bad and you don't need him, and that scares him a little bit. This isn't optional. This is the power move of the day. You better not send an I miss you text. I don't care how much you miss this man. I don't care how much your fingers are hovering over the phone. If you do that, you are giving him exactly what he wants. Don't give in. Witches don't give in, okay? We rise above on our broomsticks and we float away, okay? Don't look at his story. Don't even let him see that you saw a story. Anything you can do to make him think you're not thinking about him, do it. Or don't do it in that case. The loudest thing you can do is say nothing. Silence is so loud. You just have to let it speak for you. Let your energy that we are creating haunt the spaces that you no longer are at. Okay. Our absence is a loss. Remember that. That is day 1. I know day 1 is boring. It's nothing crazy, nothing juicy, but the thing is you have to step into your power before you're able to get him back. Because he needs to be able to feel it before he can see it. I love you. I really am hoping that you're enjoying this series. Also, my book, How to Get a Guy in 10 Days, the interactive journal, is coming out next week. So please be on the lookout for that. It will be on Amazon and I will have the link ready for you as soon as it's ready to go. But I'm so excited for y'all to get your hands on it. Let me know what you think about this new series in the comments. All right. Love you guys. Stay sexy.
How to get your boyfriend back. Your man back. There is no begging and there is no damn crying, okay? That is desperate. That is needy. All we need is freaking strategy, okay? So listen up and take notes. This is a freaking peer, okay? This doesn't mean block him. This doesn't mean unfollow him. This means putting him on mute so that he doesn't even know that it's that big of a deal to you, but you will not even be showing up in his his views, okay? You will not be showing up in his likes. You will not be showing up in his story views because you are disappearing. Let that man wonder what's going through your head, okay? Are you dating someone else? Are you even thinking about him? Are you over him? Are you dating a DJ, a finance bro? For all he knows, you could be. He left you wondering and going crazy. Now it's time for you to let him wonder and go crazy. Number 2, upgrade everything. Now this is not optional, okay? Go blonder. Go to the gym more and get hotter. Get more toned, get more skinny, eat better, dress better, whatever it takes for you to level up, make more money. You're gonna do it, okay? Think of it as like a rebrand of something that he lost that he can't even afford the new version. That new version being you leveling up. Number 3, post like you are a damn PR professional. No fucking sad quotes, okay? God damn it. These are only gonna be uplifting, showing that you're happy because he will watch them. And we hope that he is haunted by them. Post a few thirst traps, a few pictures of you at the gym, bettering yourself, being social, maybe even a guy group in there. And last but not least, do not answer that man's late night lonely or drunk call. I know it is hard and I am not perfect, but who is that benefiting? Not you, just him, knowing that he can pop in whenever he damn pleases. But for you, it shows that you're weak. You will give in every single time, so hold freaking back. Oh yeah, and when, not if, but when that man comes crawling back, do not take that man back. 3 ways to make a guy come crawling back during no contact. Now, this is a fun one. Now, the most important one is to stay unbothered and stay hot. Even if you are bothered, you're gonna show that you're unbothered. Radio silence drives them insane. While they're overthinking your lack of responses, you're out there being the main character. Let him miss what he didn't appreciate. Number 2, now as I mentioned, you're gonna stay hot. Now we are going to glow up, baby, and we're going to post that glow up all over social media. We're going to start with the gym selfies because we're now going to go back into the gym. We're going to start with the meal preps and we're going to post that on our story. We're then going to go in with the rooftop patio pics that we're now going to every weekend. And if you want to get real toxic, throw one of those mystery hands in a story. And last but not least, now that we're looking good, we're looking great, we've grown up, we are posting about it, we're gonna casually live our best lives in places that he does attend to. He casually likes a certain bar or a certain coffee shop. Oh my goodness, well, I was just by with my friends, so we decided to get a coffee there too. And it's crazy because I have a full face of makeup on right now and I look freaking unbelievable. And I bump into you and that's a coincidence. And oh my gosh, you see me looking amazing. So yeah, just have fun with this one.
Let's finish up my makeup while I explain how to make a guy come back to you. Here's the deal. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, but by the time you're done with this situation, you're not going to want him back. I'm telling you right now. Okay, so he just breaks up with you. You're not going to throw a fit. You're going to listen to his explanation and then leave. This way he'll be like, oh shit, she has respect for herself. Next step is you're not going to do anything petty at all. You're not going to send him random texts. You're not going to go for his best friend. None of that. You're literally just going to get over it. To get over it, you're gonna handle this breakup like a death. He is dead to you. He just died. Now, as you're grieving this death, you are gonna do everything in your power to work on yourself and become the absolute best version of yourself you've ever encountered. You can do this by going to the gym a lot, by working on your career, moving to the place you've always wanted to move. Whatever it is that makes you a better person, do it. As you're becoming this crazy good new version of yourself, you're not gonna be trying to flex it all over social media. One way or another, he's gonna hear about how good you're doing either by the silence or people will spread the word. Since you're not being crazy or acting up, he's not gonna get the validation for the breakup. He's gonna be contemplating every day in his head if he made the right decision to end things with you. And eventually, the curiosity of how you are and why you're doing better without him is gonna send him in a spiral and bring him back to you. I also forgot to mention, don't go out of your way to seek other male validation. If a man comes into your life that you're better off with, pop the fuck off. But don't go out of your way to, fill that void. The biggest dent to a man's ego is seeing the girl he let go thrive without him. Not to mention, by gaining this independence, you're gonna grow a whole new level of hotness for being a boss girl on your own without him. The amazing thing about this whole strategy is that by the time he comes running back, you're literally not even gonna want him. You're gonna be on a whole new level of self-worth and respect that you're never gonna want to be with a man that didn't want you at one point. Finishing up the lashes and the lips. This is the final makeup look. Love you guys.
3 ways to make a guy come back fast during no contact part 2. Like, it's one thing to make him miss you, but the moment you start doing one of these, he will come back so fast. Starting off with number 1, do not block him. That will completely eliminate all of your chances of this dude seeing you. People are lazy these days. They do not want to go on all of these burner accounts just to see your profile. And we already know how Instagram works. Like, you block one account, it blocks all of them. But the thing is, he will be checking on you on Snapchat. That's why I tell you ladies to check the Snapchat chats, because it will completely expose whether or not he is coming back. And if you don't know how to check, hit the arrow, then hit Snapchat with chats. And if you see him there, he is checking your Snap score. Like, don't even worry, because he will be back. Now, the second one, this is like the most attractive thing. It'll make it so that he definitely regrets the no contact. And that is if you show that you are different than these other girls. Start doing something new during this no contact. And then when he comes back, he's going to be like, oh, so what were you doing during this no contact? And you could be like, yeah, I was doing this. And he's going to be like, wow, that's a high value woman. And it doesn't even have to be something crazy, because the point is that you are moving on without him. And for number 3 is the push and pull method. Because the moment you start doing this, it is game over. He is coming back instantly. Just don't make the mistake of doing it as soon as you guys start no contact, because otherwise it is just completely obvious. I would suggest waiting at least a week.
You want a man to come crawling back to you. You want him to regret fumbling you so badly. There is a very simple method to do this, and I'm going to tell it to you guys because it works on literally any man. It's a 4-step process. Step 1, turn your energy from focusing on him to focusing on you. I am telling you, he will immediately feel the energetic shift. Instead of wondering what he's up to, what he's doing, start filling your own schedule with things you like to do. Hanging out with your friends, working harder at your career, things you're passionate about. Fill your own plate so you're so unbothered by whatever's going on in his world. From this point on, he's irrelevant. This is a critical first step. Forget completely about him and focus on yourself. Step 2, no contact. I know this is really hard, ladies, but you cannot be reaching out to him. As long as you are feeding this version of him who's giving you like half-ass attention, you're just perpetuating it. Stop making someone a priority in your life when you're just an option in theirs. You deserve better than that. Remember, all women are always the prize. Any man who wants you to chase after him, he is a fuckboy. If he thinks on any level he's the prize and that women should be competing for him, fuckboy status. A man, a high value man who could be your boyfriend, he understands that women are always the prize and he needs to chase after the woman he wants. Remember, all men, they're bred to be conquerors. It's this whole Roman Empire thing they're obsessed with. If he wants you, he's going to chase you. He's going to try to earn a spot in your life. And that's why step number 1 was prioritizing yourself, building a well-rounded life. Because when you have a well-rounded life, there's not a lot of room for men who haven't proven themselves. So no contact is critical. If he reaches out to you, you may respond after 24 hours. Because again, you've taken back your power from this man who wasn't treating you well, and you're busy. You have a full schedule. And in fact, I think you missed his text. Now you're not just energetically showing him that you're deprioritizing him, you're also showing him with your actions. You're no longer available to respond right away because he treated you badly. He lost having access to you. Again, this is going to motivate him to start treating you better. If he wants an immediate response from you, he wants access to you, he wants to be in your life, he needs to act better, or else he doesn't get those things. 3, move on and start dating other men. Start seeing what other fish are in the sea. If you're only seeing one man, it's much more likely you're going to accept worse behavior because you don't have a lot of other options. When you have a lot of other options and one of them isn't treating you well, it's much easier to toss him to the curb because you're like, I have these other 3 men who are treating me like a princess the way I deserve to be treated. And it also just shows you there's other great guys out there. You don't need to hang on to this one man and beg him to treat you right, because remember, if he won't, another man will. 4, the last part of the method, have a glow up. This goes along with focusing on yourself. All that energy you were putting into him, consumed with what he's doing, what he's thinking, how he feels about you, all of that now put into yourself. How can you do your nails differently? How can you up your workout routine? How can you pick up a new hobby? All that energy into you. And then you're going to up level yourself. Because then either one of two things is going to happen. He's going to see that you're up leveling and he's going to be like, oh shit, I need to treat her well or I'm going to lose her. Or you're going to up level, attract a boyfriend material man who does know how to treat you right. And then you're going to cut the old guy off because he's no longer meeting the standard that you hold for this new version of yourself. Take back your power from a man. You are in the driver's seat of your life. Instead of begging for some man to choose you, choose yourself. Love yourself. Because then you see it reflected in every aspect of your life. Loving yourself is how you go from doormat to dream girl. It's literally how you go from girl to goddess. And the irony is that the less you need him, the more he needs you.
This is how you make somebody come back into your life in 3 days. Whether they've blocked you, they moved across the country, you guys haven't talked in weeks, whatever it is, in 3 days from today, you can make them come back into your life. This is going to blow your mind, but please, before you perform the following, make sure you like the other person because it works so well and so fast. This is called the whisper method, and it is insane. If you don't believe me, check the comment section of this video. If you want to make this happen in a couple days, however, I have an entire journal and guide as to how you can do this effectively. So get that if you want to do it faster. But for the next 3 days, you're going to close your eyes before you fall asleep, and you're going to imagine where you think that this person could be right now. Imagine yourself walking into that room and you're imagining exactly what they're doing. You come up to them and you whisper in their ear three times what you want them to do for you. Okay? You want them to text you back, say it in their ear 3 times, kiss their forehead, walk out of that room, and fall asleep in real life. Okay? It's insane. But the way the person will actually respond to you, come back, or do whatever you told them to do in your ear or in their ear, it is insane. It is like kind of freaky. The most effective way to do this, however, is to actually write down what you want them to do for you. I have an entire journal again if you want to do that. It's insane how well it works.
You know, when you're fresh out of a breakup and you're like, you know what, I'm going to post something on Instagram to make this person so freaking jealous and make them want me back so badly. So you go off and you like do all of your makeup. You buy like this cutest, maybe like a really slutty outfit, depending on what your style is. And you just go on Instagram and you're like snapping the picture, trying to get the angle, trying to get like, you know, like make yourself look absolutely amazing. Maybe you put some like filters on it, who knows? And then you go ahead and post that to your feed. And the caption's something like, oh, you wish you could have this, or like, I'm better off now, or like, I've never been happier, like something like that, to make sure like they know that when they see that feed post, they're gonna be like, holy shit, I want this person back, or I messed up, or like, oh my god, this caption, like, mic drop, this is so intense, I need to text this person and try to win them back. It's like that is your evil plan. But as you post this thing, you're just like, you know what? I kind of just want to see what this person's up to. Like maybe they're active right now. Maybe they've posted something new. Maybe they've deleted the photos of us. Let me just go check. So you go over to their Instagram account, but you don't feel comfortable just typing in their username into Instagram. So you go into your DMs, like on your messages, and you go back to like the last time you guys messaged each other in Instagram, and you click on their profile that way, because it's like a little bit more like nonchalant, and you don't want like Instagram's like algorithm to know that like you're stalking this person, even though Instagram knows, because every time they watch your story, they're like the first person. Like there's all these people that watch your story, but they're always like near the top, because Instagram knows the people that you want to really see at the top, and obviously your ex is one of them. So you're like, holy shit, let me just check out their profile, and you notice that all of the pictures of you guys are still in their account, and you're like, what does this mean? Like, what? But you're like, you know what, I'm over this, like, you know, this person and I, we're not dating anymore, I don't want them in my life, but I do want them to be very jealous that they don't have me in their life anymore, because, like, I'm amazing, and the fact that we aren't together is, like, shit. So, like, I'm just gonna keep posting all these, like, slutty-ass pictures. So you go on with your week, and you go hang out with your girlfriends, and you go to work, and you go do all your stuff, and while you are out, you make sure you snap pictures of everything. You're like, oh, I'm getting a sandwich. Like, oh, here's a sandwich. Or like, oh, you're with your friends. Hey girls, let's all take a picture. You make sure you look amazing and your friends are like little like dots in the background because you don't really care what they look like. You just care what you look like because you want to post a picture of you on Instagram, maybe your story, maybe Facebook, who knows? Maybe you're going to change your Facebook profile picture. Like you're that crazy. You're doing that. Okay. Just so that they see it and they're just like, oh my gosh, your ex. And your ex is like, holy shit, I need this person back. This is seriously your master plan to win back your ex because you think that just posting a picture of you on the internet is going to make them think, God damn, I fucking messed up. This girl is wearing makeup, a cute outfit, she's with her friends, she's living her life, she's doing her shit. I need her back. I need her back so badly. And this could go the same for guys too. Okay, it's like you're posting all your shit online. You think the girl is over here like, holy shit, oh my God, this guy looks so amazing. I'm glad he's with his friends. I wish I could be with him. Like, holy fuck, like is it getting hot in here? And you're like, this is the plan. Newsflash, if you dated an avoidantly attached person and this avoidant person broke up with you, and you're thinking that if you post all this stuff online, they're all of a sudden gonna want you back. That's not how it works with avoidance, okay? You need to give them their space. You need to allow them to feel like they are in control again. They need to be their own independent person, go live their life, go hang out with their friends, go date other people, go do whatever they need to do. You, on the other hand, need to focus on yourself. You need to go after your dreams. Go kill it at your job. Go start a business. Go get fucking ripped, okay? Go do your thing. You can post stuff online, but don't go absolutely crazy. Well, do whatever you want, but going absolutely crazy is not going to attract your avoidant ex to come to you faster. That's not how it works. You need to drop the bait and you need to live your life. The bait is living your best life because I'm telling you, when they do return into your life, you're probably not going to want them because you're going to realize, why the fuck would I get back with an avoidant person? Because it's a cycle. It's going to happen all over again. Okay? So if you really, really, really want your avoidant ex back in your life, like I said, when they do come back, you're not going to want them. I'm just telling you, just like statistically, they return back after at least 3 to 6 months. Okay, that's typically the time you have to do no contact anyway, because they need to feel like you aren't in their life, like they've lost you. Does that make sense? You can't be around them all the time. You can't keep texting them. You can't keep posting all this stuff online because they still have access to you. They still see what's going on in your life. You have to be fucking mysterious. I know I'm kind of giving you like mixed signals here, but I'm telling you, you're probably watching this video because you want your ex back. So that's why you're here. But I'm letting you know, once you follow these things, I can't talk. Once you follow these things that I just told you, they will return. And when they return, you are going to be like, I'm done. I don't want this anymore. Or maybe you'll meet someone else and they're not going to be an avoidantly attached person. Okay, because you're so razor focused on yourself. I am telling you guys, I went through this. I dated an avoidant person. They broke up with me and I was like so heartbroken. 2 years. 2 years. This boy played with me for 2 fucking years. And I let it happen. Because I was so hurt until one day I woke up and I'm just like, you know what? No. When he came back the third time, I was like, no, not this time. Because I respect myself, because I love myself, and because I know I want a relationship with someone that is secure. I want to feel secure in the relationship. I want consistency, and he can't give me consistency. I need to work on myself, which is what I did for those 2 years. It was a lot of crying, a lot of like releasing, a lot of digging deep into my past. But when you get over that hill, you'll find on the other side that you don't even want the avoidant in the first place. Now, I can't tell you that. This is something you need to figure out for yourself. That's why I'm giving you the steps of like, okay, this is how you kind of like get them back. And then you're going to realize, wait, no, I don't want this. So you can kind of like skip the whole 2-year phase, but everyone's on their own timeline. So if, you're still healing, you do your thing, you focus on you, and it's all going to be okay. Okay? But if you're really, really struggling and you need more help healing, sign up for the 7-day boot camp that starts this Friday. We are going to go live for these 7 days. You can ask me any questions that you want. There are so many of you guys that have already joined, and it's going to be so much fun. You're going to walk away from this boot camp and know exactly how to plan out your next 90 days, how to react when your ex does come back, how to dig into your past and realize why you were so addicted or attached to your ex, okay? It's gonna be a really intense 7 days, but trust me, you are gonna walk away feeling like you are healed or in the direction of healing. Like you have someone that has your back. You're not alone in this, okay? So if that sounds interesting to you, it's a 7-day boot camp, How to Heal After Your Breakup. It's in my bio. Secure your tickets. It starts on Friday, okay? Let's roll. I love you guys so much, and we'll talk later. Bye. This is how you get your avoidantly attached ex jealous of you. This is part 2, okay? Avoidants do not like to see you living your life and forgetting about them. They love to be the center of attention, okay? And they like to control everything, and they think they're still controlling you even though they're out of your life. That's why they randomly come back and they start watching your story, they start texting you, and they start like responding to your story. Just like little things here and there to see if you're still available. But if you show literally zero interest and you go on and live your life and you don't give them the time of day, they are going to be like, what the heck is going on? But what will sting even worse is this. You glow the fuck up. So not only are you living your best life, but you are hotter than the version of you when they dumped you. Does that make sense? I'm talking like inside and out too. So like physically, you look better. Mentally, you're on a better spot in your life. And physically, you're toned, you're fit, you're just healthy. Because imagine them seeing you on Instagram, scrolling through, seeing you living your best life. That's great. But I think what would hurt even worse is if they saw you in real life, saw how beautiful you are in the inside and out, how much you have healed after you guys dated each other, but you're like, I don't care anymore. I'm living my life. I'm doing my thing. You're healed. And they are like, I don't have access to that anymore. How do I tap that? And they're not going to know how, because you're mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally on a different level. Does that make sense? So number 1, do not care about them anymore. Like focus on yourself so hard. And number 2, glow up on the inside and out. That is going to make them crawling back on their knees, begging to have you back. And I guarantee if you glow up on the inside and out, you are not going to want them back when they do return. Just trust me on this one, okay? This is like your own personal growth, self-love, personal growth. It has to happen, okay? And all at the same time, you're going to learn to let this person go. Because when you love yourself enough, you're not going to want to date another avoidantly attached person. I guarantee it.
Hey guys, so I have a new toxic tip to use on like a new guy or girl you're talking to, so I'm gonna give you the deets. And for all of you that are like, oh my god, stop with the toxicity, we don't care, literally, here's your chance to scroll. So a girl actually used me to do this to another girl at the bar, so I can't give myself credit for this, so shout out to Callie. This is her doing. So basically Callie was across the bar from me, and she like ran all the way over, and I couldn't really hear what she was saying, but like she kind of just like put her arms out, like gave me a hug. It's like, how are you, like all this stuff, and I'm just like playing along with it. Not gonna lie, I was pretty drunk, but I also like I couldn't really understand the way that she was like acting immediately like she knew me. I just assumed that like she was trying to get away from like a creepy guy or something. So I'm playing along with it. The guy that was standing next to me was also playing along with it. But she starts whispering. She's like, oh my god, thank you so much for being so cool. Like, I'm talking to this new girl and you are the prettiest girl in the bar, so I just told her that you're my ex-girlfriend, so I'm coming over to say hello to you. I about died. I was like, out of all the people to do this on at the bar, you chose to do it to the right fucking person, considering I'm gonna be there to help you perform this toxic task. And then we just kind of keep standing there chatting, talking about random conversation, whatever, but all the friends, like the whole friend group and the girl that she came here with, they were all across the bar. So they couldn't obviously hear us, they were just kind of like watching what was happening. But again, my girl Callie really knew what the fuck she was doing because she chose me to be the girl that she used to make this other girl jealous. So I'm like hugging her, touching her, whatever. And then for the rest of the night, that girl that she came there with was literally death glaring me across the bar. She was staring at me the whole time. Like I could just tell like she was just so like jealous of me. And then me and the other girl like occasionally across the bar, like we're just like looking at each other, like waving, like whatever. And like Callie was just having a good old time, but like the girl that she came here with, you could definitely tell she was so completely humbled in that moment. So if you want to make a guy or girl jealous that you're talking to at a bar, literally go find the hottest person that you see that looks like they're pretty cool, a little bit drunk, and get them in on this and make that person jealous. Obviously my girl Callie really lucked the fuck out because I'm the queen of toxicity, so it might not be the best for everybody, but just go find somebody cute at the bar, Act like you fucking know them, look like they're a good time, and make that other person jealous. Also, to make it even more valid, like what I did when I was leaving the bar is I like walked over to her while she was talking to the other girl and I gave her like a big hug. I was like, it's so good seeing you. Like, text me whenever you want to hang. That might be a little bit too far, okay, but we obviously know I'm and I love to be toxic. But even at another point in the night, she like came over to me and she's like, she is so jealous. Like she keeps just saying that you're just staring at her and like all this stuff. And she's like, I can tell you have not even looked over at her once. Like she was just death glaring me like for the rest of the night. So grab your hot bitches and let's start making these people jealous. Wait on his texts. If he is off, if he is weird, give him.
I just woke up. But this video better be a fucking joke. You wanna know what the problem is with doing this, though? Is that if you're not the type of girl who's just busy all the time, this is not something you can do longevity. If you're just trying to fuck around, then yeah, I guess. But if it's someone that you actually care about and like and want to be with, don't do any of this shit. This is called playing games. And when you play games, sometimes you fucking lose. And if you start out a relationship with games, you're not gonna be able to do that throughout the whole relationship. So this man will have an expectation of how you are that you cannot meet all the time. So, if you're actually busy, be fucking busy. Who cares? If you're just not responding to text messages while you're laying in your bed, eating Cheetos, scrolling on TikTok, what's the point? What's the point? If you want to talk to someone, talk to them. If you don't want to talk to them, don't talk to them. If you're busy, be busy. And just happening to show up where they are, but showing up late. Like you're important. This is some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Flat out, you should not be trying to be enough for anybody. That's the real advice here. If you have to jump through fucking hurdles and do mental gymnastics in order to be enough for someone, you will never actually be enough for them. You might as well realize that now and get the fuck out of that situation. All these how to make him jealous videos on TikTok just piss me off. If he doesn't choose you by you not just being you, why would you want him in the first place? I don't fucking get it. Anyways, don't play games like this. This is fucking dumb.
Men are biologically wired to look at youth and beauty. What do women compete over the most? Youth and beauty. Women spend thousands of dollars to look younger, to look more beautiful, getting their nails done, makeup, hair extensions, because they want to compete with other women over beauty and looks. Therefore, when men check out other women, we get triggered because we think they are better than us. That's why I always say you do have the upper hand as a woman if you don't even react to him checking out other women, because you know they're not a threat to you. Women compete over beauty. What do men compete over? Money and power. Because the more money a man has, the more resources a man has, the more he will get attention from women. So men compete with other men over money, power, leverage, influence. So if you want to make your man jealous, you trigger that exact thing that he competes over with other men. When he checks out other women and it triggers you, you pull the reverse card and you will check out other men's wealth. Talk about your rich guy friends. Talk about all the yachts that you've been on in Europe summer. Talk about on all these trips you're going and all these rich people that you know. Talk about your guy friend's Lamborghini. Talk about how much better you would be off as a woman if you would be with a rich man. That is how you trigger a man's ego, and that is how you make a man jealous. Not by talking about how beautiful other men are, not by checking out other men. Men don't care because men don't compete over looks. Women compete over looks and men compete over money. Do with that information whatever you like.
This is the fastest way I've seen somebody get their ex back, and it's simply because of this. They wasted no time taking their ex off of the pedestal. So this video is a bit of a rant video, but it's also obviously got information in it. So I do a lot of coaching calls, a lot of text. By the way, if you guys need that, let me know. It's in the bio with a Stan Store link. So when I do these, I obviously tell them like what to do, give them a strategy, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of people don't listen because they're still very hopeful, right? That hope that they have is at the forefront of, they can't let go of that. That's why I really talk about the book Letting Go. And I talk about, other books depending on what their situation is so they can really learn. But Letting Go is a really, really good one. So one of my latest students, you know who you are. You sparked the idea for this video. But obviously, like, this didn't happen to you, but like this happened to somebody else. But this is what you need to do. This is what everybody needs to do. Take your ex off the pedestal. Stop giving them the benefit of the doubt. They broke up with you. They left, right? And what a lot of people do, what you're going to do, and what everyone wants to do is they want to be there for their ex. Oh, my ex is going through something. My ex is going through this. I want to be there for them. You're no longer their boyfriend or their girlfriend. Okay? You're no longer in that camp anymore. Once they broke up with you, I know it's hard to turn this off. I understand there could be people, it's hard, Kyle. I know it's hard to turn this off, but that's why you need to accept where you're at. This is the consciousness levels, the map of consciousness by David Hawkins. Right here is a very high level, a very high emotion. It's called acceptance. This is when you truly and finally accept that the breakup happened. And it usually takes dumpies like several weeks to months to get here. And this is why I'm telling you, take your ex off the pedestal. If they're going through something, let them go through it on their own. That's what they wanted. That's what they chose. I really want this video to help you because all you guys are doing is showing up for your ex when they stop showing up for you. They don't care right now about the way you feel. So why should you go the extra mile? And a lot of your guys are going to say to yourselves, I'm doing it because maybe it'll give me a chance to get them back. Right? And that's not true. They come back. I'll tell you the one way they come back is when they wonder about you. See, right now, all you want to do is you want to look for any little thing that you can say or do that will get them to respond to you. But as soon as they break up with you, because again, they've been dreaming about this, the idea's been built up in their head about breaking up with you. And as soon as they do, their receptors turn off for you. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter how you act, it all goes out the window. They don't care. As soon as they begin to wonder about you through no contact, that's the reason why you do no contact, that's when that dream of breaking up with you, that idea they built up about breaking up with you several weeks before they did it, goes away. They've lived out their fantasy of being alone. They figured that being alone and being away from you was a better idea, a better feeling, and a better way of life, grass is greener, than to be with you. They built this idea up and they need to live through it. It doesn't mean they're going to sleep with the village. It doesn't mean that. It just means that they need to be alone emotionally, which means they need to miss you. They need to wonder about you. That's when they come back. Okay? Now, sometimes they come back a week later, right? Because they realize they'll go out or they'll go do something and they're like, I just miss this person. I want to watch movies and I want to do stuff, right? But guys, you have to take them off the pedestal and accept the breakup. Okay? Every time I do this, I just want you to know there's a colorful chart. Red is bad and the light ultraviolet up at the top is really good and like white almost, right? And in between, there's obviously blue and like all those. Those are good too, but anything down here where this cutoff is bad. So when I point towards it, that's what that means. And guys, that chart comes from the book Letting Go. But the book goes into each detailed emotion. Okay, this video is getting too long. So take them off the pedestal. Notice that you're doing it. Stop being there for them. That's it.
This is 3 ways to literally make a guy come back instantly during no contact. They're literally like a timer on when they're going to go out and mess around with more girls if you don't do these. So the first thing you need to do, the number one thing I got to say is don't block. You're blocking and it's going to make him be like, oh yeah, she cut me off. Now I'm going to get with and go with multiple girls, this, that, and third. If you want him back, do not make that mistake of blocking. Because one, not only does it eliminate him trying to see what you're up to, but it really just, like, I'm not going to lie, it eliminates us from stalking. That's what it is. And I told y'all ladies how to know if he's stalking. There's a way to tell now. It's not smart to stalk, but there's a way to tell. If you press the share, scroll over here, Instagram direct, it pops up a list of people who could be stalking your account. If he's in there, you probably know he could be stalking. The second one, ladies, is look, what is every girl doing after the breakup? Going outside, getting with multiple guys. If you're the only girl to improve your life, get close to the guy, get in the gym, get your bag up, start driving your dream cars. This is both of mine. And I got my Lambos at my house. I'm at my penthouse right now. But ladies, you can do the same thing too. I went through a breakup. All glory to God, I used that to improve my life. Started more businesses, got closer to God, got in the gym. Literally just got a notification right here. And even if y'all ladies want to learn what I do, because I understand after a breakup, you don't want to lose your mind and go out and be a 3 or 4. Upgrade your life. I got you. I'll put you on what I do. Literally, all I do is I run online stores. It literally takes like 1 hour a day. As you can see, that's almost $1 million in just a couple of months. And I know that sounds crazy, but you don't understand online money. It's a different game. If you want to learn, ladies, I'll put you on. You can go to my IG, DM me the word ECOM. I'll put you on. The third thing is to use a slick tone method. A lot of ladies overlook this, but that is one of the easiest ways to get a guy back in your life that you want. If you don't know what it is, somebody comment, we'll let you know. Kind of like the Care Bear method, but a little bit like better. But like I said, ladies, stop worrying about him. If you want to learn what I do, I got a free thing as well on my page. You're welcome.
If you want to know how to reattract somebody into your life, whether it was your ex or somebody that you've been dating and they've been pulling back, then I want you to pay attention. The number one mistake that everybody makes when they're trying to reattract somebody that has lost interest or is losing interest is you are over pursuing them and you are acting desperate and you're chasing them. If somebody's making the conscious effort to leave you and they don't want to date you anymore and you chase them, it's going to make them run away more. You have to give them time and space to think about what's going on, potentially miss you, and then realize that you are a good person that they want to be around. And then here's what you have to do. When this person comes back and they start talking to you again, before you get back together with them, you have to be very logical and assess the situation. Are they changing their behavior? Am I changing my behavior? Are the same behaviors and patterns going to continue to happen? Because if they are, you shouldn't get back together with this person. But again, the first step is that you have to give this person time and space, let them walk away, go no contact. The second thing is when they start reaching out, if they start reaching out again, you have to take things slow. You have to almost restart the relationship and act like you're starting to date all over again, because what you need to do is you need to start qualifying this person to see if they're going to treat you right this go around, because they didn't treat you the right way the first time around. Now, if this person is coming back and they're talking to you again and dating is going fine, and you realize that every time you start to put an effort, they retract or they pull back, that person is just extremely avoidant and they're going to waste your time if you continue trying to date them. So it's best to go your own way and not waste your time with them. And the last thing I have to say is if this person stopped talking to you or left you because you did something wrong, it's your job to communicate and remedy the situation and show them that you have changed. If they pulled back because they're a bit avoidant or they pulled back because you came on too strong too soon, you can fix that. If you did something wrong, you need to fix that yourself. If you need some help navigating this situation, make sure that you're following my content and send me a message.
This is how to get him to miss you. Girls, you're going to want to click save and take notes, and guys, confirm or deny in the comments. Number 1, you know what you're going to go and get yourself? A signature. But not the autograph kind, we're not a fangirl. You need a signature scent, okay? Just one, and use it repeatedly whenever you're around him. That way, over time, he's subconsciously going to associate this smell with you. And if he happens to smell that again when he's not with you, guess who it's going to remind him of and miss dearly? It's you, bitch, it's you. Number 2 is the clingy meter, and you need to be sitting at a comfortable 3 to 5. Not ridiculously needy, but he still needs to know that you want him. How do you do that, you ask? Be yourself, be independent, and show him you don't need him. I'm telling you, guys don't like an overly dependent girl, but a girl who's confident, busy, has her own shit together, and chooses to make him a part of her life. That, girlies, is how you keep him there after you've secured the bag. Because he's going to miss you when you're busy and naturally want to be a part of your schedule. And number 3 is the most important. Whenever you're with him, let your hair down and have fun. F-U-N, fun. Underline that shit. Having fun with him and making memories is just going to make him enjoy your presence and miss it when you're not there. And for bonus points, take an active interest in his interests too. You're welcome.
3 ways on how to get any man to miss your absence, part 2. Listen, y'all love part 1. Y'all gotta watch this whole video. I've been giving y'all crazy tips, the best tips. So please watch the vid, and then you already know I got you. Number 1, you gotta do the green camera method. When you do the green camera method, that guy will miss your absence less than a day. You know what? I'm gonna say if it's your first time doing it, so like when it's like if it's your first time, you probably don't know how to do it as good. So I say 2 days. But if you already know it and you're really good at it, it's gonna be less than a day. I'm not even joking with y'all. Number 2, you gotta stop stalking their socials. Listen, this girl just DM'd me probably like, I think 30 minutes ago, like right before I really made this video. And she literally said, oh, I made a second account just to stalk his social. Just to stalk his Insta. Like, bro, what are you doing? I literally replied back and say, do not do that, because he's gonna see it. He's gonna know. And 9 out of 10, he's already stalking your stuff, so you can literally check. Like, you don't have to make another account to stalk his socials when he's already stalking yours. So you can text him like, yo, you was like, or not even text him. You just know in your head, like, okay, like he's stalking mine, so I know he's missing me right now. So I'm telling y'all, and you can check. All you gotta do is click share, Instagram direct, and a list will pop up. That guy's on that list. He's literally stalking your socials. He's literally missing your absence right now. And number 3, one of the biggest ones. This gonna be just a little bit toxic, but if you do it, it's gonna work. I want you to post on your story and be like, why is there no good guys out there? Let me tell you something about guys. any guy who see that, they're gonna swipe up and say something, be like, oh, oh, what do you mean? Like, it's me. Like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna say like they are the good guy. Every guy wants to be a good guy to a girl. That's just how it is. Like, they just want to say something, and that's gonna make him miss your absence. Because 9 out of 10, he's gonna swipe up, or guess what? He's gonna be stalking your story. He's gonna be looking at your story, but he may not say nothing. But you know, like, he's gonna be like, bro, like, what the heck? And like I said, you can check. Just click share, Instagram direct, and a list will pop up. That guy's on that list. You already know what's happening. If y'all want part 3, all you gotta do is follow me and let me know in the comments, and you know I got you.
3 ways on how to get him to miss you during no contact, part 5, because you all like the other ones so much. If you do any of these, especially the last one, that guy will break no contact 100%. 1. Doing the red camera method will make that guy miss you instantly. I actually had a friend that's a girl recently ask me how they can make this guy that they liked miss them. And so I told her the red camera method and explained it to her. A couple days later, she comes up to me and tells me it worked. You have to do the red camera method. That guy will miss you in 1 to 2 days. 2. You need to stop stalking his socials, and I really mean this. And the reason why I say this is because a guy's gonna notice and he's gonna be like, okay, I got her wrapped around my finger, she still wants me. And most of the time, they're probably already stalking your socials because they know how to check. All you have to do is press share, go over to Instagram direct, and a list of people will pop up. If you see that guy on that list, I'm telling you, the ball is already in your court. 3. This one is by far the biggest one, and it's if he acts nonchalant. Any guy that acts nonchalant during no contact, that means that they miss you deep down inside, they just don't want to show it. Him being nonchalant is a way for him to show you how he feels. He's doing this because he doesn't want to do too much and end up losing you.
How to make a man really miss you. Ignore him and give him space. Give him the time to miss you. Now this mainly work on clingy dudes. Because not only is their love language physical touch, they also need to make sure that you really into them. So you're not replying to his text like every 5 minutes or every second. Like he gonna be like, whoa, what the heck going on? Don't respond to him immediately. Now I just talked about that, right? Now we all do like got little waiting periods to text somebody back, but wait at least like a cool 30 minutes. That's gonna get him guessing. Keep looking good always. Post on your story too, cause like that'll really get him. Like when he see you posting on your story looking good and shit, he either gonna swipe up or like it, or he probably gonna text you like, "Oh, you don't see my text? Who do?" I'm telling you, man, that man gonna miss you for real after you watch this whole video. Show him that you are happy without him and don't need him. If you can show a man that you don't need him, he really gonna like do everything he can to show you why you should be in his life. No cap. If he really loves you, he'll reach out. If not, move on.
Men always miss women who do these 4 things. So if you want him to miss you, listen up. Number 1, give him some space. Give him some time to miss you. Giving a man a little bit of time to make them actually realize that they miss speaking to you, talking to you, having your energy around will make them miss you, I promise. Number 2, do not be too available. Men don't want someone that's at their beck and call all the time. You need to have your own life outside of them, your own friend group outside of them. You need to be living your best life and showing them that you're living their best life without them. And you can live it with them too, but you have to have your alone time and do things on your own too. It's attractive. Number 3, let him see you living your best life. And yes, this is also without him, or when you're with him, be that fun person to be around. Post on social media what you're doing on the weekends. Post on social media that you're having a fun time and out with the girls or out for dinner, and let it be a little bit mysterious. But let him see that you're living your best life. And last but not least, number 4, you have to make every time that you're with them enjoyable. So that when you do make them miss you, or you do spend time with your friends or other things, or do things on yourself, it shows him that he misses doing that with you, or would want to do that with you. So in the end, it just makes them miss you. And we all want to be missed and chased, so don't lie to yourself.
If you're in no contact with somebody and you want to make them instantly miss you and reach out to you, use this method. Don't ask me how this works, but it works every single time. You're going to be using the law of thought transmission. So you're going to be assuming that they are missing you like crazy right now. They realize that they are missing out right now. They are experiencing major FOMO when it comes to not being around you and losing access to you. You're just going to spend your day simply thinking, I know that they miss me like crazy. I know they're thinking about me all the time. I know that they're going to reach out to me. Why wouldn't they? And then you just drop it. Like, you confidently tell yourself these things and then you just enjoy the rest of your day. Don't give it a second thought, because the mistake that some people make is letting it affect their entire day. They're overthinking it, and that's why it's not working. My girls using the blueprint, they simply just set the intention, they get clear on what this person's thinking about, how they feel about them, and as a result, they are literally reaching out to them, telling them their exact affirmations, saying how they are their dream girl, how they realized how special they are, how they would love another chance with them, all that. Like, this works every single time. So if you're interested in learning how my girls are doing this, you can grab the blueprint at the top of my page for more.
3 ways to make any guy miss your absence, part 7. These tips, especially the third one, will make a guy miss your absence almost 100% of the time, so make sure to watch this till the end. 1. Alright, we're starting this off pretty simple. Before you even try to make a guy miss your absence, you have to make sure that he still cares about you. I feel like a lot of you will try to make a guy miss your absence who doesn't even care about you in the first place. It's not because my tips don't work, it's because he just doesn't care. So if you want to see if he cares, all you have to do is see if he's stalking your Instagram. Trust me, if the two of you haven't been in much contact lately, he's definitely going to be stalking your Instagram if he misses you. And if a guy is stalking your Instagram, he's going to be checking who you follow, who's following you, all of your stories, like literally all of that. So this is how you find out if he's stalking you. Press the share button right here, and then go to Instagram Direct. A list of people will pop up when you do this, and if he's on that list, that means you're good. He cares about you. That means you can watch the rest of this video, so let's keep going. 2. I can't express this enough. You need to start doing the Care Bear method. Like, I do not understand why you wouldn't. Because if you do the Care Bear method, that man is going to be missing you like crazy. Like, he will not be walking back to you. He will be full sprinting. And if you somehow don't know what the Care Bear method is, just comment Care Bear method, and I'll make sure to make a video on it. 3. This is by far the biggest one. Girls, please do not be an open book. If you really want to make a guy miss your absence, you gotta start doing stuff that you know he would never think of you doing. Like, let's say you don't usually work out, but now you're just working out like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Or say you're not usually like a big reader, but now you're a massive reader. This will genuinely make him think about you so hard, he'll be like, wait, what? Why is she doing that? All of a sudden now? Like, she didn't tell me anything about this. You know what I mean? Just don't be an open book. I know for a fact if you start doing this, he will come back to you so fast. If you guys are going to want a part 8 to this video, all you have to do is follow me and let me know in the comments.
This is 3 ways to literally make any dude miss your absence. I feel like a lot of girls don't know how to do this correctly. They start going out, trying to make him jealous. Coming from a guy, it doesn't work, so do these. The first thing, accept it. Okay? That's the first thing. Accept it. And the reason I say that, what do I mean by that? Before I even go on, accept it is to accept what happened and don't keep giving attention to it. The more you keep trying to like apply more pressure and you're low-key still kind of like watching him, don't do that. I don't know, it's weird, but guys can tell when you're still giving the energy. You just have to completely pull back, ladies, especially if it's on IG. Because, ladies, there's a new update now. You can actually see if you click the arrow, scroll over here, Instagram Direct, it pops up like a list of people could be stalking you. So if he's in there, you know. But if you're in ours, we're going to know. You get what I'm saying? We're going to know. But I'm telling you, the more you keep applying pressure, it just looks like, you know what I'm saying, you're desperate. You have nothing else going on. But the second thing, you have to use the energy rapport method. This ties in the last thing, but you girls have to realize, yeah, while this dude is out, he could be chasing girls, stuff like that. What is, you know what I'm saying, stalking him or trying to text him or trying to act crazy? You get what I'm saying, talking about him. What is that going to do for you? All that's doing is just wasting your time. Ladies, you need to realize that you can be pouring your energy into something else. You can be reading the Bible, getting close to God, getting in the gym, starting that business. Like, I had a girl best friend who was doing the same thing. I taught her how to start a business instead of doing that. He literally makes like $10K a month now. And I know this is off topic, but literally the business I taught her how to run. Literally all I do is I run online stores. This is just one of mine right here, as you can see. I'm not one to gatekeep. Ladies, if you want to learn, I'll give you the same blueprint I gave her. I have a group. Go to my IG, DM me the word ECOM, E-C-O-M. Just an opportunity for y'all, just in case y'all want it. The third thing you need to do is use the Care Bear method. If you do the Care Bear method, the guy is going to come back. Okay, so, I mean, do it at your own risk. He's going to come back way too obsessed, but, I mean, only do it if you really miss him. Like I said, ladies, instead of worrying about this dude, literally just focus on your purpose. You could literally just be traveling the world, driving your dream cars, just from working remotely and pressing buttons on your computer, just like I do. If you want to learn, I'll put you on. Go to my IG, DM me the word ECOM, E-C-O-M.
I don't know if I'm going to actually post this because this is super vulnerable for me and I'm a pretty open person. But earlier this year, I told my husband I wanted a divorce. And this would probably shock a lot of my friends and my family because I hadn't told anybody, okay? I walked myself through the logistics of where would I live, how would we split the time with the kids, who gets the dog, where, all of those things, okay? Had a full breakdown. I feel like I have been searching for something in my relationship that we don't have for the whole time we've been married, which has been 10 years. There is not a single thing about my husband in and of himself that I do not love. Let me be very clear about that. He is the most self-disciplined, loyal, hardworking, good person that you could meet on this planet. And that is probably the reason, that is the reason why I have not left, okay? Our relationship and what my expectations are for my marriage and what they always have been are not met, right? Which I don't know if anybody's are. The reason that pushed me to even bring up divorce and talk about it was the fact that I feel like I can't be myself with my husband. And it's really confusing because I'm 32 years old. I am a mom of 3. And I still don't know who I am. So for me to be like, oh, I can't be myself, or you don't love me for who I am, isn't really fair because I don't know who I am.
So you're willing to break up your family of 3. You've already thought through and worked out in your mind the logistics of how you want things to go, all the way down to the dog. You have a phenomenal man that is faithful to you, that apparently is taking care of business on top of things. There's no financial lack per se or anything like that. And so essentially what you're telling us is that you're bored. And because you don't have no real struggle or no trauma and no issues and problems, and because you don't really know what's on the outside of that door, because I'm going to just tell you, on the outside of that door, it's demons out here. Real talk. The streets is waiting to eat you alive. I don't know what's wrong with women. What makes them think that you should... Women are literally dying for a good man, and this chick is saying that she want to break up her whole family because she not content. Because she can't find happiness within herself. Because she bored of her circumstance, and she's been successfully married for 10 years. And honestly, I don't even believe that that's the end of it. I think it's something else. It gotta be something else to it. Ain't no way in hell that you're going to sit here and tell me that the reason that you are literally trying to break up your relationship is because you're just not content with yourself and you're trying to discover yourself. So you're willing to financially get yourself in a difficult situation, have your kids.
I've been married for 12 years, and in my marriage, I've gone through a separation, which I've talked about on my TikTok. If you don't know, you can go back, and I talked about how my marriage fell apart and what it taught me. But the one lesson that I wanted to share that I've learned after going through the separation with my husband, and we're still together, is that I've realized that you can do everything on your own. Like, I had this theory or like this, constant need of certain things that I just didn't feel like I could do. Like, when we went through the separation, it made me realize how dependent we become in a marriage, right? Because we both start relying on each other for certain things. And I think that is conducive and that is good for a marriage. But I think we should also adopt the mentality that we are capable of doing everything on our own, because we must learn to do things on our own, because it teaches us, one, things that we don't know how to do, and two, it builds self-confidence and independence, which I think women lack, because we've been grown up, especially in certain cultures, coming from a South Asian cultures, we are told that our independence is very short, right? Like, go through school, and then right after that you get married, and then you have a husband, and then he takes care of you. So that's like ingrained in our heads, in our our minds for so many years, and so much conditioning has happened around that. Yes, you can rely on support. Support versus need, support versus dependence are two very different things. My husband very much supports me. But after the separation, I've also made it very clear that I am not dependent. I'm not dependent on you for anything. I have survived on my own, and I can survive, I continue to survive on my own. And the only way I learned that is going through a separation. Yes, I want a strong support system, but I do not depend and rely on anyone, because I am an independent and strong woman that can pick herself back up when she falls.
I was married for 24 years. I got married 2 weeks before I turned 20. We had 3 children together. And when I got a divorce 24 years later, it took a lot to get me there. It took a lot of pain to get me to the point of willing to divorce. I endured, I suffered, I begged, I pleaded, I tried. I read all the books. I went to therapy. And I still stayed 10 years longer than I should have. And when I finally pulled the trigger and I finally ended that marriage, you know why I did it? Not because of me, not because I knew that I deserved better, not because I knew that I was dying in that marriage, my health was suffering, I had autoimmune issues, I had depression, I was overweight, not because of any of those reasons or because I just wanted to be happy, because my kids were being affected. That's why I left. When I saw that my kids were being traumatized by the behavior, that's when I found the courage to leave. And you know what? I had a conversation with my daughter the other day, and she said, Mom, what? I'm mad that you didn't leave sooner. I'm mad that you didn't do it sooner. And she's right. She's right. I should have, and I didn't. The pain of staying had to get so bad. The fear of change was no longer as big as the pain, right? The pain of staying got bigger than the fear of the change. And that's when generally the human condition is, that's when we leave. We need a crisis. And unfortunately, that's what happened to me. And women are much more likely to endure the suffering for themselves. But as soon as the kids are involved, we get all mama bear and we'll do it. But I don't want that for you, because what I learned from that was very valuable. What I learned was it's not noble to suffer for the rest of your life because you're scared of making a different choice. It's not righteous to stay in an abusive, toxic, dysfunctional relationship. And staying for the sake of the kids when it's like that, you're lying to yourself. It's bullshit. I was lying to myself that I could hide it from the kids, that I could protect them, I could be the buffer. No, you can't, and they're being damaged, and I have to now deal with, I have to take responsibility for the impact I had by staying too long, the impact I had on my kids by staying too long, and I'm taking responsibility for that, and I'm learning. You can relate to this. What I want you to hear from my story is this. You know, in your intuition, your gut, you know you need to leave. And you're staying because you're scared. You're staying because you're scared of disrupting the family, of the conflict, of looking like the bad guy, of guilt, of finances, of whatever. But that fear is keeping you in denial, and it's making you tell yourself that it's all okay, that you can do it, you're strong. You need to tell yourself the truth and wake up to the reality of what's really going on and how it's really affecting your kids and what needs to happen. And then you need to get the support that you need in order to make that decision. When I started working with a coach, it gave me the support and the courage to actually leave my marriage. You need to stop being in denial and stop telling yourself that you can do it, you're strong, it's going to be fine, you're staying together for the kids. No, if your gut is telling you, you got to go, you got to go. And that means you got to figure out how to go. And that means you probably need support. Don't stay 10 years too long like I did. Don't do it. Because if I could go back and do that over, I would have been out of there way sooner. And I would have had way more time to build my new life. And my kids wouldn't have had to go through more trauma. So this is my message to you, because I wish I had had somebody say that to me back when I was, 35 years old, stuck in a shitty marriage, being cheated on, being abused. I wish I had had somebody say this to me. Wake up to what's really going on. Tell yourself the truth about what's really happening, and then decide that you are going to start getting support now before you get to a crisis point. That you're going to start working on yourself now, to build yourself up now so that you can make that challenging decision. Because honestly, that choice to leave takes about 10 seconds of insane courage. That's it. Everything else is worrying about the decision. What's going to happen after. But saying it out loud, I want a divorce and I'm going to figure it out and I'm out of here, 10 seconds of insane courage. Everything else will be figure-outable. Everything else will figure itself out. But delaying that conversation is just keeping you in stress. It's keeping you suffering. You don't need to do that. So tell yourself the truth, get real with what's going on, and get support. And if you want that support, I am here for you. You know how to find me. You can go to the link in my bio. You can see all the ways you can work with me and get support. I have free support. I have all sorts of levels of support. There is no reason why you can't have support. Take responsibility for yourself. Take responsibility for your life. Take responsibility for your happiness. Get the support. There is no reason why you can't have support here. And trust that as you do that and you work on yourself and you work on focusing on you, figuring your shit out, figuring out how to make that challenging decision that you know you need to do, that you've been putting off, let's go. Because life is short. You only get one life. And I want you to live the life that you're meant to live. And I want you to find out how capable you truly are, how powerful you truly are. And I am here to help you do that because I know that's the truth about you. So let's go.
When I was going through a divorce, my husband had been paying the bills and I didn't really understand the magnitude of what was really going on. And I felt really dumb. We sat down and made a plan. And that was the moment that I felt like a light bulb went off and I clicked and thought, okay, I need to know how to handle my own business. I need to know as a woman what's going on in my own house. Just the attitude of know what's going on, work hard, build a life for yourself that you're proud of, but just pay attention.
Of ladies are getting divorced before they turn 30.
She could not be more correct. I got divorced in my late 20s at this point, and honestly, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Now, I'm one of the lucky ones. I didn't have a shitty relationship. It didn't end badly. Honestly, we just kind of grew apart, and I realized at that point in my life that I don't think this is what I really wanted. The reason it's one of the best things that ever happened to me is because it was the catalyst for my growth. So much growth. Like, I know myself better now than I ever have in my life. Like, having to go back out into the dating world, as terrifying as it was, because in my mind at the time, I was like, oh my God, this is like such a terrible stigma. Nobody's gonna wanna date me because I'm divorced. So fucking untrue. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody. Literally, I haven't dated one person who gave a shit. Because I was pushed to go back out into the dating world, oh my God, did that bring all my shit to the surface? Did that bring my shadows to the light, to be looked at, to be healed, to be reconciled? I know, like, who the hell wants to do that? Nobody. But I'm telling you, I have such a good relationship with myself now. It's not always perfect. I don't think anybody's is ever perfect. But I know myself so well. I know what I need. I know what I deserve. My self-worth is so high now. It never was before. I have really good boundaries. I know healthy communication. I've worked through my attachment shit, all of the stuff that I was able to see through dating other people. Honestly, I guess because I've experienced what I don't want in a marriage, now I really understand what I do want. Now, of course, if I could go back and choose whether to go through this again or not, like, I don't know, probably not. Like, it wasn't fun at the time. It was horrible. I felt so much shame and embarrassment and all the feelings that come with a relationship ending, especially a divorce. But at the same time, it's like, I just don't think that I would be where I am today had I not gone through that. I think it's so important for all of us to remember that our struggles can also be our biggest opportunities for growth. And I used to think it was like the end, and it really wasn't. It was just the beginning. And you may not feel that if you're going through it right now, and that's normal, but eventually you will. You will get to a place where you will see everything in hindsight and see how it worked out for you.
I'm 24, single mom of 2, and I just lost everything. Hi, my name's Bria. Nice to meet you. That was me about 3.5 years ago. Went through a very, very ugly divorce, walked away with absolutely nothing but my 2 precious children, and I'd do it all over again. So, little bit about me. I was a very successful destination wedding photographer and built my business from the ground up. I ended up buying a beautiful horse property house to raise my children at, and realized that the person I was with was not the person that I should be spending my life with. So I decided to file for divorce. Well, me being me, having a huge heart of gold, I decided my money was our money, and he decided his money was his money. So I opened a joint bank account that had all of our money in it. I paid for the down payment of the house. Girls, learn from me and do not make my mistake. So, when I decided to leave, he decided to take everything. I left with absolutely nothing to my name. I left in a U-Haul. I moved from California to Florida in a U-Haul, and no car, because he wanted to make sure all the cars were in his name and not mine, aka power. Do not let a man do that to you, okay? Make sure you are on there as a co-signer. You're on there just by yourself. Well, me being me and me being young, thinking love is love and no one would do anything to hurt you, false. So I left with about $10,000 to my name, a U-Haul full of everything, and my 2 children. I spent about 4 months using my double stroller as a car for 4 months, I would say. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with a blow-up mattress for another 4 months because it took a while for me to get from absolutely nothing back on my feet, because mind you, I lost my photography business as well because of COVID. So COVID happened, weddings got shut down, I stepped away. So now here's this single mom of 2, basically homeless, thinking life is never going to get better. How did I get here and how do I get out of it? So there was days, weeks, months where I'm crying my eyes out because I didn't have enough to buy food just for breakfast. I didn't have enough for anything. And I'm just here to tell you that if you keep pushing and you keep believing in yourself, everything's going to be okay. It's going to work out in your favor. I'm still not, now I'm 27, so 3.5 years later, because I'm going to be 28 in like 2 days, but I'm still not where I want to be in life. However, I'm a lot closer to where I want to be in life because of the fact that no matter how impossible it felt, I refused to give up. I refused to take the easy way out and just say, this is the cards that God gave me. No, I said, I don't like these cards and I'm going to do everything in my power to get out of this. So if you need support, if you need help, if you need anything, feel free to reach out to me because I love supporting other females. If you need a job, I'm hiring. I will give you a job. Like literally anything that you need, I will help you with because I've been there and I had absolutely no one and it sucked. So This is just your reminder to keep going no matter how hard it gets.
Is everyone going through a breakup right now? I feel like I have so many friends who have just turned 30 and they're either going through a breakup or a divorce or something crazy. And it's interesting because I actually got my divorce 2 weeks after I turned 30. And I remember being like, oh my God, I'm 30 and getting a divorce. But what really helped me during that time was hearing people's stories who are on the other side of like a divorce or a heartbreak, something that like you think you're never gonna get over and then you do. That's what got me through it. So I wanna share my story with you because 3 years ago today, I met my boyfriend and my life was like completely changed. So before I met him, I got my divorce at the end of, or my separation at the end of 2018. And then shortly after that, I reconnected with somebody from college and we had like a 2.5 year situationship. And it's funny because the divorce like was hard, but the situationship ending was so much worse. And it's funny because it reminds me of the Tortured Poets Department. You know, Taylor wrote this entire album about this situationship and had like 1 or 2 songs about the 6-year relationship in her life. Like that's kind of how I felt. So I actually ended up moving to Colorado because this man asked me to move and I was like, okay. I moved and he dumped me after a week. It was less than a week. It was crazy. And I was fucking heartbroken. And I was like, okay, where do I go now? Both of my sisters live in Austin. So I was like, I'm just going to go hang out in Austin for a while and see if I want to move here. I got to Austin. I absolutely loved it. And I remember it was August of 2021. I wrote this list. I wrote a list of everything I was looking for in a partner. And then I also wrote how I wanted this relationship to make me feel. Then in March 2022, I matched with this guy on a dating app and he was from Chino Hills, California, which is right next door to where I grew up. And I just was like, oh my gosh, this guy has like a kind face and I'm just like so interested in him. And then on March 18th, we actually had plans on Saturday, but the Friday before March 18th, he was like, hey, I know we have plans on Saturday and we can keep those plans, but I'm out with my friend and do you want to like meet up with us? I normally would have said no and just stuck to the plan, but I just like got a wild hair and I was like, sure. And when I first saw him, I just had this insane attraction to him. It was like deeper than just like physical attraction. Like the more we talked, the more I was like, I want to consume every word out of this person's mouth. Like we talked for so long and I just was like transfixed by him. And then we hung out the next day too. And I just remember being like, wow, this chemistry is insane. Like, does he feel this chemistry too? And it turns out he did, but it wasn't like such a quick relationship. It took us a while to become official. It was probably like 6 months before we were exclusive, which was kind of torturous, especially with like how much I liked him. But I also felt this like weird sense of calm too, because he always showed up. He was always super honest with me. And I just like knew it was going to work out. Like I can't explain it. I was anxious, but also calm. Looking back, I'm actually glad the way we did it because I feel like we really got to know each other and built a really strong foundation before we jumped in too quickly. I feel like a lot of the times when you have such intense chemistry with somebody, you just want to dive like head first into the relationship and then you're so intimate with somebody and then you kind of look around and you're like, wait, I don't even really know you. I'm just so beyond grateful for this relationship because it is happy, it is light, it is peaceful, it is everything that I feel like love should be. And Nick is just such a great person. He's happy, he's kind, he's fucking funny, he's smart, he's creative, he's just everything and more I could have asked for. I would take getting divorced and every single heartbreak I've ever experienced 1,000,000 times over to be where I am now. So I hope that you find some sort of hope in that if you're going through a breakup or a divorce too. Because if I didn't experience all the divorce, all the heartbreak, whatever, I wouldn't be the person that I am in this relationship now. And I feel like I'm such a better partner. I wouldn't be like this if I didn't go through what I went through. So I hope that you find some hope in that.
And the theme song for Shannon Sharp Life is Make His Pockets Hurt. Because somebody else is suing him, girl, for defamation of character. Yeah, somebody is suing him for 20 million smackaroons. Him and Chad Ochocinco, yeah, 10 million apiece. That lady needs that. Apparently, this lady that was at the Usher concert, she was an older lady, an auntie. And, you know, they were talking about how, you know, like she doing too much at the Usher concert. And her doing too much is going to lead to her getting divorced. Mind you, whole time this lady has been single, okay? But they was on there yapping, talking about her, like calling her out her name. You know, just running out like men do, okay? So the lady was like, okay, I'm going to sue y'all for 20 million smackaroos. She suing for defamation of character, for emotional distress, because she was never married, she was never facing divorce, and y'all was talking about her and didn't know what the fuck y'all was talking about. Like, that's the difference between making commentary and then going in on someone's character and making it seem like there's just such this horrible person, when in all actuality, y'all don't know what y'all talking about once again. I don't know, maybe he can get into modeling, fashion, or something, because him giving commentary or speaking into a mic is going to cost him millions, literally.
Now, I wasn't going to say anything. I've been sitting over here racking my brain trying to figure out how to write a funny song about whatever Shannon Sharp is doing with this with this child. Okay, and before you correct me, she's a child, okay? Any person who is 50 plus years old ain't got no business with an 18, 19. And before you try to argue me down, can your daughter do it? Quickly, answer the question. Gun to your head, bomb about to go off. Can your 18, 19, 20-year-old daughter bring home a 50 plus year old man? I didn't think so. Shannon Sharp, what are you doing? Are you bored? Oh, you need something to do. The post office is always hiring. DoorDash, Uber, Lyft. Target said they done seen a decrease since the boycott. Perhaps you could stock shelves if you ain't got nothing else to do. Stop playing in our faces. And anybody who thinks, oh, well, she's lean, oh, go ahead and put your hands behind your back too, okay? You, sir, you got to go to jail as well. Prison. You need to get comfortable with stripes and jumpsuits, because from here on out, I want you locked up, okay? Never again to see the light of day.
The way that I met my boyfriend made me believe in love at first sight. I had been in a relationship throughout all of my high school. Once I got into college, I had promised to myself and I wanted to be single. And I got along really well with this girl, and she was asking me where I was from, and I told her I was from Mexico, but I was also French. I had an Italian last name. And that's when she told me, wait, oh my god, I know this guy who's French, Italian, Lebanese, pretty much from everywhere. And so she gives me his Instagram, she gives him my Instagram. We follow each other, we start talking. One thing led to another. From messaging, we went to voice notes, then we went to a FaceTime. He posted a picture with his mom. The most lovely picture ever, hugging her. He treats his mom well. He's super kind. Let's meet him. We're talking, and the weekend rolls around. And he asks me if I had any plans. And he proposed going out for dinner to this restaurant by a chef from my hometown in Mexico City. Of course, I cannot deny I had to go. Still sticking to the plan that he was going to be a friend of mine. Either way, I arrived to the restaurant. And when I looked around the room to find him, he enters behind me through the door. I swear, I'm not messing with you. When I locked eyes with him, I fell in love. And this is coming from somebody who has never believed in love at first sight, but it happened to me. And I realized my plan to be single was absolutely screwed. We could not stop talking to each other. I was not nervous at all. It was like I was meeting somebody from my past life. We stayed until the restaurant closed. We walked to Mesro, an underground jazz bar. But that was an issue because we couldn't stop talking. I had to go back to my dorm room. He brought me back home. I received this beautiful message from him. He said, "This might be the biggest mistake of my life, or the best thing I've ever done." Because you guys know how in the beginning when you meet someone, you want to play it off cool, you want to play your cards right. He told me that he had felt something that he had never experienced before. So I realized I wasn't the only one. And he told me that frankly, he could never go another day in his life without me by his side. Just poured our hearts out to each other. We saw each other again the next day, and the next, and the next, and the next. And 4 years later, we have been glued to each other's sides. He has quite literally redefined what I thought a relationship was. Partner, a gentleman, a teammate. He has been the greatest gift I've ever had. I'm not gonna lie, guys, our story is not a perfect story. We've gone through hell and back. We've experienced really difficult things. We've gone through very tragic moments together, which makes me realize that the time we met was really divine timing. That's the story of how I met Lucas. Sometimes when your plans don't work out, it's for the best. Ciao.
Get ready with me while I tell you the story of how I met my husband on an airplane. So I met my husband flying from New York to Denver, Colorado. He was going for a work ski trip, and I was going to shoot the cover of Vogue Australia in Vail, Colorado. What's really crazy about it is actually my first flight got canceled for this trip because there was a massive snowstorm in Colorado. So this was actually my second, might have even been my third flight that I was supposed to take for this trip. So when we got on the airplane, I did clock him right away. We were in business class. We were the very first seats. And it was like a young, cute, attractive guy who was speaking so loudly on the phone sitting right next to me. I fully checked him out. I was eavesdropping on his conversation. I was looking at his laptop to see what he was working on because I was like, this guy is talking so loud. He thinks he's so important. Like, let me be the judge of that. I even remember to this day, like, what was on his laptop. So we actually didn't start talking until halfway through the flight because I was sleeping the first half. People are always like, what was his pickup line? Like, what did he say? So I woke up from my nap and I ordered a Diet Sprite. And he asked me, did you just order a beer? And I was like, no, this is a Diet Sprite. That doesn't even count as a pickup line. Like, I don't even know. It worked though. It opened up the conversation. I was like, no, this is a Diet Sprite. And we started chatting. So we had a lot in common. We were both from upstate New York. We lived 1 block away from each other in New York City. I lived on 22nd and Park and he lived on 21st and Park. And we had a mutual friend in common. I remember I told him that I was a model and he was like, oh, models, like meaning you like go out every night to nightclubs and like drink and party your face off. And I was like, I don't know like what models you're hanging out with, but like I literally never do that. But there was no magic pickup line. There wasn't any magical conversation. I just remember that he asked me a lot of questions. He was a really good listener and he seemed genuinely curious about my life, which I think is the best way to like hit on a girl, low-key. AKA don't hit on her. So as we're getting off the airplane, he's like, give me your phone, like very demanding actually. And he put his number in and I texted him right away, just like Emily DiDonato, which I thought was a totally normal thing. And he was like, you clearly like wanted to hear from me again. You texted me right away. And I was like, no, that's just something like I do whenever I exchange numbers with someone, but sure. He called me when we were both in Vail because he ended up being in Vail too to ski. And I was just like, I'm working, I'm tired, no. Then when we got back to New York, he called me like multiple times and I did not answer because I was like working and traveling and just like, I was like, why does this guy from the airplane keep calling me? Like, what does he want? Eventually I got back to New York City and I was like, hey, like my birthday's coming up. It's actually gonna be at Finale. The girls will know from that era. You can come if you want. He ended up coming. He brought like all of his friends and we had a really great night and we stayed out like all night long, just like dancing and having a good time. We went our separate ways, but then the next morning he texted me and he was like, meet me downstairs at like 10 a.m. I'm taking you to breakfast because we were neighbors. And the rest is history. Then we were dating after that.
The story of how I met my husband. I was finishing up college. I went to FIT in New York City for advertising, and to pay for college, I was working retail, waitressing, bartending, and modeling. One day, I got booked for a shoot for Cosmopolitan for a love story, and I was paired up with the most gorgeous man I have ever seen in my life. I was obsessed with Twilight at the time. I thought he looked like Taylor Lautner's older brother, and I just couldn't stop staring at him from the moment that we met. 3 or 4 male models on set, and I was the only girl, and I didn't know who I was going to be paired up with until it was time to shoot, and I was telling my hairdresser, like, I really hope it's that one over there. And then a few minutes later, my hairdresser comes over because he went to the photographer to get the tea, and he was like, it is that one. That's who they paired you up with. And I was sweating. I went to the bathroom. I like was profusely sweating. I'm nervous because we had to pretend that we were a couple for the shoot. It's time to shoot. I'm in my underwear. He's in his underwear. We're on a bed. We're hugging. We're just talking to each other. And then the photographer stops and she goes, you two, are you guys in a relationship? Would you be open to maybe actually kissing? He said yes. I said yes. We were making out a few hours after we met. But before the shoot, we were talking the whole day, like probably 2 to 3 hours. Other people were shooting. We were snacking, we were chatting, we had everything in common. Movie quotes, we talk in movie quotes, we still do. The chemistry was, after the shoot wraps up, I'm changing, I get ready before he does, and I kind of linger. I sit in a chair and I'm waiting for him to get ready to leave so we can leave together. He goes to get changed, and before he does, he leans down and whispers, wait for me. And I'm just in a puddle. So I wait for him, we take the elevator, he walks me home, asks for my number, asks if he can take me out on a date, and the rest is history. We've been together ever since.
Part 3 as to how I met my husband. From the first coffee meetup, I knew that he was a one, but that didn't mean that I was gonna cancel on all my other dates. We are believers of rotational dating here, and we're single until we're not. But what did my husband have to do in order to get my full attention? For him to get exclusivity. After our coffee meetup, he did invite me on an actual date, and we both knew that we were talking to different people. Because if you're on the apps, you just know that you're talking to multiple people. But of course, my husband wanted another date. He was very insistent because he knew that I had options. But he remembered something. He remembered my work schedule. He remembered what time I got off. He remembered what days I was off. So you can bet that this man was asking me if I was busy or if I was free after 6 p.m. And he knew my days off. I don't know why I told him my days off, but he knew. Because he knew my days off, he would always call first dibs. After our first date, I would always receive a text message at 5:45 from this man asking me, what are we feeling today? Chinese, sushi, Italian? Every single time he wouldn't miss. I did have a part-time hostess job. My full-time job was managing rental properties. Let me rephrase that, leasing rental properties. So I worked on weekends and he was off on weekends, but this man took any opportunity to spend time with me, so he would always bring me lunch during lunch hours for me. Anytime I said I'm not available after work, he would be like, oh, but you're available for lunch, right? What do you want for lunch? It was getting spicy. And the one thing I loved about this man is that he would do anything in his power to give me what I wanted. This one time I mentioned to him that I wanted to go to Julian, and it's like a small town near San Diego. But I told him I wanted to go to Julian, and I was gonna go to Julian on my day off. And obviously, since he was in the military, it could take days or weeks to get days off approved. I don't know how this man would do it, but he would take me wherever I wanted to go, get fast approvals just to take me wherever I wanted to go. On the third date, we were eating sushi and he looked at me and he told me, you're my wife and I'm your husband and I will prove it to you. I have a year to prove it to you that I am your husband. How sexy is that? Like, put yourself in my position where you just met this hot, sexy Southern man who's extremely masculine with a thick accent and he's telling you this. But you ladies already know that I think talk is cheap, so I did not believe him. I was like, yeah, right, prove it. And well, here we are today. And because men also have standards, he said, hey, I want to continue pursuing you, but this needs to be exclusive. So I agreed to exclusivity. By this point, he had already showed me all his finances, his credit score, how much money he was making, how much money he had saved, his plans and everything. So I felt like it was safe to be exclusive with him. What made him extremely persistent to me was the fact that I had a physical boundary. He says that that drove him mad, more interested in me because I had standards. And if I was willing to protect myself in that way, I was going to be able to protect our family and our relationship in the same way. Point being, never lower your standards for anybody. You are single until you're not. You are single until married. Ladies, be wise.
Story time how me and my husband met. Before meeting my husband the year before, in the year 2020, I was so depressed, going through so much in my life, and I dedicated my entire year just better myself and take care of myself, walk away from things that were toxic for me, and really just emotionally cure my well-being. A year later, now it's October of 2020, and I'm going to Vegas for my best friend's bachelorette. I'm having the time of my life. Me and my other best friend are planning all things. We're gonna go to Miami New Year's and we're gonna do this trip and that trip. It was not in my head to get married at all. Back from my trip from Vegas, and I'm talking to my mom, and she said, your brother-in-law has a guy for you, you should call him. The backstory is that while I was in Vegas, my brother-in-law went out for dinner with two of my husband's very close friends. And my brother-in-law was talking about my sister and saying, she's the best wife, she's so good to the kids, she's such a good cook. And one of the friends at the dinner table said, does she have a sister? Does she have a younger sister? And my brother-in-law said, she actually does. She's 24 and she's single. So now the other friend had me in the back of his mind, but he didn't tell anything to my brother-in-law yet. So a couple days later, after hearing nice things about my family, he called my brother-in-law and he said, I actually have a guy for your sister-in-law if you were looking to set them up. And my brother-in-law said, who? His friend said my husband's name, and my brother-in-law said, I actually know him, he's a very good guy. Like from Vegas, my mom said, oh, my brother-in-law has a guy for you. So I called my brother-in-law. I said, who's this guy? You know him very well. He said my husband's name. He's a great guy, you should go. I'm gonna give him your number. I said, great. Now my husband texts me for the first time. He goes, hi, I'm from Geneva, Switzerland, born and raised. I live in New York now. Are you available Wednesday night? And at the time, I had no idea where Geneva was. You said Switzerland to me. I thought of Siberia. That's what I thought Switzerland was. I didn't realize people actually visit Switzerland. I didn't realize that he could have an accent. Like, I had no clue what Geneva was. Like, I tell you where it is on the map because I don't know. We make a plan. Now it's Wednesday night and he picks me up. Get in the car and what do I hear? Very strong accent. And I'm so thrown back, like I did not realize this man could have an accent. Ended up having the best first date of my life. It just clicked on our first date. I remember my mom texted me during my date, like, how's it going, Kim? And I'm like, yeah, he's me and a boy. That's what I describe my husband as. We both had 3 drinks each, but when my husband tells a story, he tells everyone I had 6 drinks, which I did not. And he tried to kiss me on our first date, and I said no, I think for the first time in my life. 2 weeks later, I was engaged. The end. Hope everyone enjoyed the story about how I met my husband.
I saw a TikTok creator ask married women how did they know their husband was the one, and it was the day I met him. The day I met my husband, I was using a dating method where I would schedule some coffee meetups, not technically dates, with the men that I had met on dating apps. My husband and I met on Bumble. So as we were talking that week leading up to the very first meeting, I let him know that, I'm talking to other guys on Bumble. I mean, who isn't? If we're on dating apps, right? We're all talking to other people. And I explained to him that I would just meet men for coffee first to check the vibe before I committed to dinner because, dinner was a big investment for me. I got to get ready, get dressed, pick an outfit, give you my entire evening. And I just really wanted to be conservative with my time. And he was okay with this. But I let him know that I would schedule these coffee meetups all on the same day so that you had to get a time slot, okay? Because it only lasts about 30 minutes and then I got to leave and I got to meet the next guy. And he was like, really? I said, yeah, really. And he said, okay, I'm fine. And I said, okay, I've got an opening on Sunday at 4 p.m. And he said, wow, I don't even get prime time, like 7 or 8 o'clock. And I said, no, 4 o'clock Sunday, that's what I got. So when I went to meet my husband and I went to start my new car, I had bought a used Buick Encore, but it was fresh off the lot for me and it had a bad battery. So, okay, bad battery. And I call him and I say, hey, I'm not a jerk, but I'm going to be late because my car is not starting. I need to get a jump start from the neighbor, but I'm going to be there. He offered to pick me up, but I said, no, you and I are meeting for the first time. I don't know what kind of crazy you are. I don't want you knowing where I live. And he was totally understandable about that. So I get the jump start. I drive to meet him and it's great. We're having the time of our lives. And normally I only allot about 30 minutes for these meetups. And I always let them know that I do legitimately have plans afterwards so that way it can never really go on too long. And if we're having a good time, it's an incentive for him to kind of book the next date, right? Book the proper date now. Because now that we've met, we know what it is. The next step is a proper date. And we were having so much fun, but I was like, you know what? This is great, but I gotta go. Okay. I really do. I'm gonna be late to meet the next guy. And when I went out to start my car, he walked me to my car. It wouldn't start. Again, same issue, bad battery. New car for me. I just bought it off the lot, but it's got a bad battery. And he said, okay, no, it's fine. No tripping. I will jumpstart your car and make sure you get off to your next date. He didn't trip. He wasn't offended. He was completely fine. And he tried so hard to jumpstart my car, but he didn't realize that the car that he had driven to meet up with me that day, he didn't know how to it was a Maserati, okay? It was a Maserati, and he didn't realize that the Maserati battery was in the back, and he was struggling to jumpstart my car with his Maserati, okay? So he said, listen, hold on. I live not too far from here. Come with me to my house. I'll switch cars. I'll get my other car, and I'll drive back to your car, and I will jumpstart your car with my other car, and then you can go on your date. And he really did. Took me to his house, switched cars, drove me back to my car, jump-started my car, sent me off on my date, which I did end up being a little bit late for. And it's interesting because I'm out with this other guy and we're having a great time. Shout out to you. I am so sorry because you probably think I'm a jerk to this day. I'm probably a jerk in his story because he was good, but I'd already had like this really great connection with the man that I knew was my husband at that point. And he was being so nice, this guy I was on a date with, but my husband texted me and was like, hey, do you need a ride home? I'll pick you up. I'll bring you home. And I was like, no, this guy's got it. This guy's got it. And that guy's, again, bad car trouble on that date too. And the man, he was really nice. He was really nice. I mean, ladies, if he's still single, I think I should kind of pass that guy along because he was really, really good. But I knew my husband was my husband that day because not only was he not bothered by the fact that I was meeting up with other men on a dating app. He said everybody's meeting up with someone from a dating app, right? It's hard to assume exclusivity or that you're the only person that someone's talking to if you've met on a dating app, which is smart, but some men that I would meet would get really offended. Anyway, my husband was not bothered that I was seeing other guys, exploring my options. He was helpful. He was resourceful. When something didn't work out, he went and, he just made it work. And he was so easygoing about it. And he was so kind and gentle and just at ease and not possessive and controlling and easily angered. I knew he was my husband. I knew that man was my husband. And the very next day I got up, I went to work. It was a great day. And he said, how'd you get to work this morning? He texted me. I said, oh my gosh, my car is still a mess. I had to take an Uber to work. He said, all right, well, not to play you close, but if you like, I can pick you up from work, take you out. We'll have a really, really nice, proper dinner date and I'll drive you home. No problem. And I was like, okay, fine. And that's exactly what he did. He picked me up. He took me to a nice restaurant. We had a lovely first proper date and he drove me home. That's it. And I had to put my car in the shop because the car was under warranty. I took it back to the dealer. And later on that week, he still was like, what's going on with your car? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's in the shop. It's been towed. They towed it to the shop. It's fine. They changed the battery. I just got to go pick it up at some point this week. And he was like, well, what are you doing? Like, how are you going to get it? I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to take an Uber to go get my car. He said, okay, well, I can leave work and I can come pick you up and I can drive you to the dealership, make sure the car works and get you on the road and make sure you get home safely, like check out the car with you. And that's exactly what he did. Left work, came, picked me up, drove me to get my car, made sure my car was working, made sure it was filled with gas and everything, and then sent me on my way. That was my husband. That's my husband. I knew then that was my husband. So I don't know, my husband and I have a crazy arc because he did ask me to move in with him after 21 days since meeting me. And he also, okay, there's things I don't want to say, but he proposed after 8 months of dating and 10 months after that we got married. So how did I know my husband was the one for me? I just knew it. And when did I know? I knew right away.
आज मैं ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਹਸਬੰਡ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਮਿਲੇ ਸੀਗੇ. So cutting to the chase, we had actually met because he messaged me for a music video opportunity. So let's rewind a bit. He messaged me in March 2020. What he had told me is that they were coming out to California for a music video at that time and they needed a model. Keep in mind I had never modeled in my life before. So I was super excited, but at the same time I was very nervous. Obviously I thought he looked cute. Like at first when I saw his profile I was like, damn, munda to cute lagda. Like, there are chances, but we still were super professional about it. So पहली चीज मैं की थी मैं जाके मम्मी पापा ਨੂੰ phone ਲਾਇਆ मम्मी पापा इंडिया गए हुए ਸੀਗੇ. So I called them and I simply asked them, I showed them the music videos that they'd done in the past and मैं ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ, like should I be doing this, should I do a music video, right? And surprisingly they said yes. At that point I was super excited and I got back to them and I was like, hey, like I'm down, I can definitely do it, like tell me the details and everything. But then the freaking pandemic hit and every single thing shut down and honestly I was super bummed out, but I was like, okay, maybe it's just not meant to be. Then let me tell you guys what happened. June came around and everything started opening up slowly. Like people started traveling more and then husband dearest ne mainu fir message kita. So he lived in Chicago at this time, and he messaged me and he said, we're flying in at the end of June. Would you still be free for the music video? Obviously, I was freaking free. It was the pandemic. Main virli baithi si. There was nothing to do. But still, I was like, oh yeah, let me check my calendar, you know? After checking my make-believe calendar, then I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm free. Let me know the details. Fast forward, up finally made. There was instantly a connection. The way we were joking with each other, the way we were having fun, like our sense of humor was the same. Explosion, man. Bombastic explosion. So the shoot goes on for a couple of days, and then it finally gets done, and then it sits in. I'm like, wait, he's gonna be going back to Chicago. Man, ni sad hogi, dukhi atma. Like, I swear to God, I was so sad. I was like, wait, bro, I finally felt like I found someone good. And now he's going back to Chicago. So then I go home after the shoot. This is the final day, and I was super sad, man. Like, I'm telling you, I was so dukhi. And then out of nowhere, my phone goes bing, and husband dearest messaged me. And after that, every single day for a month, we called, texted, and FaceTimed every single day. And then after a month of talking, he finally came down to California and asked me to be his girlfriend. And the first year that we dated, it was actually long distance. And then the next 3, he actually moved over here to California with his family, and we were finally close together. We've now been together for 4 years, and we finally got married. So that is our love story, guys.
You know how everyone is talking about the butterfly effect and how like one small decision can change your complete entire life? Well, that is exactly the story with my husband and I, except I don't attribute it to the butterfly effect. I attribute it to God. So I went to Arizona State University my junior year of college. I had transferred from Santa Barbara City College, and I ended up at ASU at the Tempe campus. At that time, I had a public Instagram, and I posted that I was in Arizona a lot, so I assume that's how we started following each other, because he's a professional baseball player and he was in Arizona for spring training at the time. At that time in my life, though, I didn't pay attention to him following me. Like, a lot of people were following me and I was following them back, so it wasn't anything significant. So we started following each other in, I believe, 2020 or 2021. COVID happened, college was online, so I ended up moving to San Diego for no reason other than I just love California, especially San Diego, La Jolla specifically. I was living there for about a year, got into a relationship with a guy I had absolutely no business being in. I remember my best friend at the time, she was even like, Alexis, like, this is not who you're supposed to be with, like, what are you doing? And also, I know I've talked about this a lot, but prior to meeting my husband, every relationship that I had been in, I had been cheated on. The relationships were just not good. On our 6-month anniversary of dating, I had bought him a nice pair of Dunks, and on our 6-month anniversary, I had found out that he was cheating on me. Like I mentioned, everyone else has ever cheated on me, so nothing new. But of course, I was not gonna give him the shoes after I found out he just cheated on me, even though he begged for those shoes, and I'm like, you just cheated on me. I'm not giving you these shoes. So what ended up happening is I posted a picture of the shoes on my Instagram story, and I said, I'm selling these. Does anyone want them? My husband didn't want the shoes. PJ did not want the shoes, but he responded to the story and said, I bet he really messed up, huh? And I was like, yeah, he cheated on me. And literally before this, I had never looked at my husband's like Instagram profile in depth, so I didn't know much about him. I knew he was an athlete, but I was over athletes at that point. I literally swore off athletes after that last one. I was like, I'm not gonna get with an athlete, like, they're just such bad news. But you know, I was being immature, whatever, so I did respond to him and I was like, yeah, he cheated on me, whatever, and that's how we started talking. Now, I wasn't gonna take him seriously or anything, but he was talking about coming to visit me from Texas, because that's where he was playing at the time. I was like, yeah, right, whatever. And then I remember I actually went to his profile, and he doesn't post a lot of pictures of himself, or at the time he didn't, and I went to his profile and I looked at his story highlights. I did a little stalking, and I was like, he is the most beautiful man I have ever laid my eyes on. And I remember I wasn't like planning on taking him seriously or anything, because again, just got cheated on, don't want to do athletes, whatever. Anyways, I end up asking him, I'm like, how tall are you? If you guys don't know, I'm 5'11", so I'm a tall girly, and nothing wrong with short guys, it's just I wanted a tall man. He responds and says, I'm 6'6". And the rest is history. I'm just kidding. But once he said he was tall, I was like obviously attracted to him, and we just started talking, because obviously he was in Texas, I was in San Diego, and we started talking. And I remember a week into us talking, doing FaceTimes and everything, I remember I didn't respond for like a day, and the next day he texted me and he was like, Alexis, like, I'm
we're either gonna talk or we're not. Like, I don't want to play games. I don't want to do this back and forth. Like, he put pressure on me, and I could have easily ran away, but I was like, wait, I kind of like that he's like being intentional about this. He's not like he was very consistent in his communication with me. Every side note, this is my all-time favorite mascara. It's the Lancome Idol, and they've sent me like 4 of them by now, so I'm catching up, and this is a brand new one. The first time we FaceTimed was when I figured out, number 1, he was an American, number 2, he spoke Spanish, and number 3, I fell in love with him even more. So over the course of 2 months of us talking, FaceTiming, all the things, me practicing my Spanish with him, he flew out to San Diego after his season was done, and he stayed with me for a week. And on the 3rd day to him visiting me in San Diego, he asked me to be his girlfriend at my all-time favorite beach, and that beach is also where my parents got married. So a very full circle moment there. And since then, we have lived all over the place. We lived in San Diego together, then to Quebec, Canada, the Dominican Republic, Charlotte, and now Charleston. He's currently in Mexico right now playing baseball, but I'll go visit him soon. I didn't want to go blind by trying to put my eyelashes on in the camera, but these are the Eyelure number 117. You can get them at Target. I also have them linked in my LTK. Everyone always asks me what lashes I'm wearing. I swear I've been using these since high school, and you place them under with some sort of lash glue. I know this looks disgusting. So my husband and I dated for a year. We got engaged on our 1-year anniversary, and then we got married a year later in August. Our elopement story. I should share our elopement story because this is kind of funny. I think my husband saved me from going into other bad relationships and just down bad paths. We're both sober, and I'm so thankful for that. The most important thing for our marriage is obviously Jesus Christ being the center of it. And I love him so much, and he is literally the most beautiful man I've ever seen. Like, I watch him on TV playing the games, and my jaw is on the floor every time I see him. I'm like, that's my husband. It's crazy, but don't let a bad relationship stop you from meeting your husband. Okay.
Hi guys, I'm going to do a quick get ready with me while I tell you how I met my husband. If you asked him to tell you, he would give you an extremely long version because he loves the story. I don't have the time for that, so I'm just going to give you a summarized version. So basically, my husband and I met online. I live in Houston, Texas, and he lives in Boston, Massachusetts. Apparently, he had been liking my TikToks, following me and unfollowing me, following me and unfollowing me, but I had never noticed. One day, months later, a video of his pops up on my For You page on TikTok, and I liked it and commented on it. It was about his mom, and I said something on there, and he just freaked out. Like, y'all, he freaked out. So I'm over here wondering, like, what is wrong with this guy? He is being so weird. And I wasn't even open to marriage, so I said no. I'm a divorced single mom, so I was just living my life happily on my own. But my husband did not give up. You know us from back then, you know that he was in my comments on every single video. A year and a half later of being friends, I decide, why not just give it a chance? And I'm so glad I did. He's the kindest, most selfless, funny, and cute person I know. Fast forward 2 years, and we have a baby of our own, and we're happily married. The story, if you've given up on finding the love of your life, I'm here to tell you that they're probably just across the country or across the globe. I just have to find them online, like I did. Otherwise, I would have never met him. He's across the country. So if you want to give it a chance, download the Salams app, where there are millions of Muslim users all across the world and all across the globe. You never know, you might just find the love of your life. So if you want to give it a chance, click the link in my bio and download the Salams app today.
Let's get ready together while I tell you how I met my husband. We started dating in 2019. This is really cliche, but he DM'd me, and then we started talking over DM for a little bit, but he wasn't that good at responding. Then he asked for my number and we started texting. He was the worst texter ever. So every time we text, he would take 2 or 3 days to respond. And at some point I was over it, so I didn't really want to text anymore. Then one day he was like, hey, I'm going camping with my friends for a couple days. I won't have any service, but I would love to hop on a phone call when I'm back because I feel like we're not connecting over text. So then I'm like, okay, great, just give me a call when you're back. And he texted me when he was back. So that night I was like, let me just call him. Also, we had a pretty big time difference because he lived in LA and I lived in Germany. I give him a call, he picks up, and we were on the phone for 7 hours straight. I did not sleep that night because it was nighttime for me, daytime for him. And it was the best phone call I've ever had. We would be on phone calls every night for multiple hours. So then one day I get a call from my agent telling me that I'm on option to walk a show in Milan. And my gut feeling was just telling me that I already booked it. So on the phone call, I just said to Lucky, hey, I'm gonna be in Milan next week, so I might not, you know, be quick to text back or whatever. And then he was like, wait, I'm going to Milan too. What are you doing? And mind you, we hadn't met in person yet, but we've been talking for almost a month straight now. So then he tells me that he's gonna attend the show that I'm supposed to be walking in. On flight to Milan, my stomach feels queasy, I just feel so nervous. And he texts me to come by his hotel to just chat before I have to go to this fitting for the show. So then I go, I'm just pacing the hallway outside of his hotel room for 20 minutes straight, just being so nervous. And then he opens the door. We were both sweating, so nervous, didn't know what to do. But then after that, it felt so comfortable. So then after the fitting for the show, it took a lot longer than I thought. I was there for like 5 or 6 hours. Lucky texts me and says, hey, are you hungry? Do you want to grab dinner? Obviously I hadn't eaten in hours, so I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we go to this cute little Italian restaurant eating pizza. It was really romantic. That day he asked me to be his girlfriend. So then after this Milan trip, I fly back home to Germany. And then I knew that he was going to Paris after for a couple shows and stayed with him for the time he was out there because I knew he was going to go back to LA after. After we spent time in Paris, I knew I was going to Australia for 3 months. So I tell him and he's like, yeah, I'm going to come out and visit you. While I was in Australia, it kind of seemed like he wasn't going to get a flight out because of all the work he was doing and having a daughter, obviously. But then he came to visit me in Australia and stayed for a week. And while he was out in Australia, we went ring shopping just for fun. He had to fly back to LA. So then my stay in Australia came to an end and it was November. And Lucky was coming to Germany to spend Christmas with me and my family and meeting them for the first time as well. So then he comes out, stays for a few days, and then we were both heading back to LA to spend some time together. Then we land in LA, meet his parents a few days later, and then 3 days after I landed, he was like, let's go to the beach and just spend the day there with my family and everyone. And I was like, sure, let's do it. Little did I know that he was gonna propose to me that day. And we were like, let's just get married. So it was February, 6 months after we started dating, and we just rented out this house by the beach and got married with our families. My family, my siblings didn't come out, but my parents did. It was literally a month before COVID hit, so I'm so glad that they could make it out to our wedding. And then 9 months later, we had our daughter. And then here we are, 3 years later, having 2 babies, and Gravity's going to school, and we're about to celebrate our 3rd wedding anniversary.
Oh my God, I think you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Story time on how I met my husband. Made a video last week and it went viral and everyone's asking me how we met. So I'm gonna tell you the story of how we met. Also, my mindset of when we met, because I feel like that played a huge role in me attracting him and also us getting married. So here's the story. I'm gonna try to shorten the story because it's really long, but we met in Austin. I was 31 and he was 29. He was living in New York City. I was living in Houston, Texas. And I go to Austin almost every 4th of July to like get on the boat and hang out with my friends. That specific day that I met him, I had actually went out with another guy. I was on a date that night and it went awful. So I like actually skipped out on the date and like Irish goodbye'd it and didn't even say anything to the guy because that's how bad it was. And I ended up I called my friend and she was with a guy at a bar and she said that he had a group of friends that he was with that were all visiting from out of town. The guy ended up being from a small town in Oregon and he knew my future husband, who was also in the group. When I got there, I was not in a good mood because obviously the other guy the date was terrible, so I was just not in a good mood. I didn't want to drink. I was kind of just like going because I was already dressed. I got there, and about 2 or 3 minutes after I got there, my husband, his name is Thomas, he wasn't my husband then obviously, he comes up to me and he taps me on the shoulder, and I turn around and he's like really close to my face, and he says, "Oh my God, I think you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen." And I was just like, and my friend was standing there, so it was just so cheesy, but it was really cute. And I just was like, oh my God, this guy's so drunk and cheesy. So I really wasn't that interested, but I was like, I thought he was funny. I thought he was cute. I ended up leaving. He was like, "Can I get you a drink?" I was like, "No, I think I'm like gonna head out." I was there for maybe 5 minutes. I was about to leave and he ends up following me. He's like, "I'm gonna go wherever you want." And I was like, "I'm going home." And he's like, "Is there anywhere else you want to go?" And he's like, "I'll follow you." And I was like, "Okay, let's go downstairs." It was like more of like the older crowd that I like. So I was like, "Okay, let's go grab a drink there." So we ended up going. We spent 2 hours kind of just talking, getting to know each other, and then we ended up like dancing. It was really fun. I had a great time. That night, I ended up taking him back to his friend's like Airbnb or whatever. He confided in me on the way to dropping him off about like anxiety. I had just started having anxiety. We kind of bonded over that because I also struggled with anxiety attacks when I was like in my early 20s. So it was a moment of like, we kind of felt like there was a connection there, but again, he was 29 and I was 31, and I've never dated a younger guy. So to me, it was just like a good time. And I was like, I'm never going to see this guy again. That was not his plan at all. The next day, I end up going back to Houston. He goes back to New York and he FaceTimes me. And I'm like, so I pick up and he is like in his apartment in New York, and he's like, "Hey." And I'm like, "Hey," like I did not expect to hear from him. So we ended up talking for like 30 minutes, and I tell him I'm going to Lebanon for the summer. And I'm Lebanese. I usually go to Lebanon every summer. And I was like, I won't be back for like 2 or 3 months. And he's like, "It's okay. Like, we'll talk when you get there." And I was like, okay, like we won't, but okay, whatever. Get to Lebanon, and within that first week, we FaceTimed every single day. And then we FaceTimed every single day for 3 months. I left July 7th and I got back September 7th. And we FaceTimed every single day. That was, I think, the number one sign that I was like, okay, this is something special. Fast forward to me coming back to the States. He asked me to go to the Hamptons, and I obliged. I said, okay. I was very hesitant at first because, again, he's younger than me, and I was like, I don't know. I also didn't want to date. I was just like, I don't know where this could go, but I'll go anyway. So my friends were like, just give this guy a chance. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the Hamptons. I ended up going to the Hamptons. I had the best time ever with him. And then we did long distance for a year. And then he moved to Houston, and then he proposed. And we got married a year ago. So that's the story. And it's really cute, but also totally unexpected. Didn't expect that to ever happen. I want to do another video on my mindset so that you guys can get a better understanding about where I was mentally when I first met him. I feel like it's a long story, and I'm gonna cut this video off now, so bye!
Let's talk about my favorite love story, even though it's not even that romantic, but it's how I met my husband. That was about 5 years ago, so it has been a while. It was before I did social media for a living or anything like that. And it was a time in my life where I was pretty wild. I was going out all the time, I was seeing people, having fun, as a 21-year-old should. I was just so happy to be single and just go out and do what I want to do and not have to say anything to anyone. That's when my husband, then stranger, DM'd me on Instagram. I saw it, but honestly, I ignored it. All I could see is that we had a bunch of mutual friends from London. I remember one day I was just sitting on my couch and I had low-key the worst day ever. I was just in a bad mood. So I decided to respond. He was like, "How are you?" And I was like, "I've been better." He was like, "Well, let's make next week better. I'll take you out for dinner." That was it. Like, we did not text after that. We just like met up for dinner. Like, that was our conversation online. And he looked cute online. It was just like, whatever, let's just see where this goes. I'm in my fun era. Like, what's the worst that can happen? I remember I was so freaking late. Like, he messaged me, "Hey, I'm at the bar," and I was literally mid-contour. Anyways, I get there and he's waiting for me at the bar. And the second I saw him, I was like, oh my god. Honestly, never had a moment where I was just like speechless. Felt butterflies and I was like, he's the one. By the way, I tried Falscara and like my lashes are now really weird. So if anyone has any tips, let me. Anyways, we sit down for dinner and we literally did not stop talking for like 3 hours straight. And everything was just like clicking. Honestly, the best date ever. And then he offered to take me home, which I was hesitant because what if he's a stalker? But I was like, okay. Dropped me off like a gentleman, didn't make a move. I do not kiss on the first date. He didn't even try. And we've low-key been inseparable since that day.
Detached. It's I'm having fun. The more fun that you have, the more that you can attract things easily. Part 2 on how I met my husband. If you guys haven't seen part 1, go to my page and watch that so you can be caught up. This video, I'm going to talk about my mindset when I met my husband, because obviously I talk about manifesting and law of attraction on this page. And I want you guys to know like what I was thinking and vibrationally where I was when I met my husband, so you have a better idea. I was in such a detached, fun phase of life when I met him, to the point where I had completely let go of the idea of like falling in love and also like getting married. I was strictly just having fun. I didn't even want to date. Like I was going on dates, but I wasn't like taking anything seriously. I was kind of just like, okay, if it comes to me, it'll come to me. But prior to that, I would say like 6 months before that, I was really, really trying to like find my soulmate, find the one. And I was constantly chasing it. I was like, where is he? Is he coming? I would go on dates with people that I absolutely had no business being on dates with, just for the sake of dating. And it was exhausting, and it felt like I was trying so hard, and I knew that that wasn't the way to meet the one or to attract anything else in life, right? Like if you're chasing something, it's going to keep running away from you. I got to the point where I got really clear on what my intentions were and took action steps to get there. So I completely detached from all the men that I had dated. I completely detached from any outcome. I was just like, I'm just gonna have the best time of my life. And if I attract the person I'm supposed to be with, that's great. If I don't, then that's great too. Like I was happy being alone, completely 100%. So when I met my husband, I was just like, kind of like, okay, he's great. But there wasn't an instant like, oh my God. I didn't feel the need to like have to be in a relationship with him. I didn't feel the need that like I usually felt with like prior relationships, where I felt like, oh my God, this is a good catch. Like maybe it could be something. That was not my intention. And it wasn't my thought process. My thought process was, I met a guy, he's great, we had fun, but that's just what it is for this weekend, and I'm gonna leave it at that. It turned into something so much more beautiful because I didn't force it to be that. I was so detached from the outcome. Even throughout the time that we were dating, I was having so much fun, and I was like, I mean, I could tell he was really into me and I was into him, but I also had this weird feeling of like complete calmness. There was no hecticness about it. It was complete calmness. It was like I was having the best time of my life. There was no pressure to do or be anything. And I remember writing down on 11/11, which was like 6-7 months before I met my husband, writing down all the qualities I wanted in a man and being like, this is the kind of man I'm gonna have. Like, this is my husband. I'm gonna get this man. And I remember that so vividly that when I met my husband, he checked off every single thing on that freaking list. There was like a knowing, okay, in me that I was gonna eventually run into him and it was just gonna happen, but I was in no rush to do so. And I think that is the biggest takeaway from this, is that when you're constantly rushing or you're trying to attract your soulmate or your person, and I see girls in the comments that are like, well, how do I do it? And I'm lonely, and you know, I've lost faith and this and that, all the negative stuff. You gotta detach. That's not detaching. That's actually attaching to the outcome, because you want something to happen so badly. And every time you go about it that way, it's going to run away from you. So my biggest advice for someone that is trying to attract love is, I know this sounds so cliche, but you know when they say, when you stop looking, it comes? That's what it is. You got to detach to the point where you just know it's coming, you don't know when, and you're not going to force it. And not every guy's your soulmate. If you're actively dating and you're going out with every guy and you're like, this is going to be my soulmate, that you're putting too much pressure on the situation. And that energy is so palpable that he'll be able to feel it also, and he's going to run. So of course, date with intention, be clear about what you want, because I was 100% clear with my husband when I first met him what I wanted. Not to say that he's going to give me that, but I told him straight up, this is what I require, this is what I want. You have to be that clear with that person, but that doesn't mean to pressure as soon as you meet them. It's detached. It's, I'm having fun. The more fun that you have, the more that you can attract things easily. So remember that. If you guys want a part 3, I can make a part 3. Just tell me what you want to know and I'll make it. Okay, bye.
I just saw a woman on here talking about how she met her husband. She said, I met my husband when I was 31, and if I had known that I was going to meet him at 31, I would have enjoyed my 20s so much more. I would have just been in the moment. I would have cooled down with the dating and I would have just lived my best life. And it really got me thinking and like reflecting on the way that we date today and how we're trying to make it happen by our own hand, and we're trying to force these conversations to happen, force ourselves to go on dates that we don't want to go on, and it's not normal. Going from talking stage to talking stage, getting our hopes up to then become disappointed over and over again, it's not good psychologically. And if you think about the way our parents used to date, or even our grandparents, right? They would pick one person that they found attractive, that they liked as a person, and they would sew into that person and pursue them and see if it would work. And we don't do that anymore. Now we're getting addicted to the dopamine hits that we get when we match with somebody, or we get a message from somebody cute, or somebody gives us attention. And then all of a sudden that dopamine comes down and it crashes, and then it leaves us sad, it leaves us depressed, it leaves us feeling sorry for ourselves, and it's not normal. So maybe that was my sign, and maybe your sign, that we need to be a little more hands off and just let things happen the way they're supposed to happen and just enjoy the ride until we get there.
He will regret losing you after you go silent, and this will humble him to his core. This guy had full access to you. He had backstage passes, and then he fumbled that because he wanted to keep doing whatever it is he wanted to do. But as soon as he realizes you're a woman that everybody wants, that's when he wants to try to come back and regain that access. And he will try to regain access when he sees that you're doing well for yourself and better off without him. But as long as you're down in the dumps and feeling all this, he feels justified with his actions because he thinks that you're going to keep chasing him. He thought the grass was greener on the other side, but then you went silent and you start working on yourself. You started regaining your confidence back, and now he suddenly wants to come back and try to be into your life, get those backstage passes again. And that's not how this works. They will always try to come back when you're absent and you start regaining your confidence back and working on yourself. Don't let them come back. And if you're a woman and you're dealing with a guy trying to come back and you're trying to detach from him, go snag my book where I've helped thousands of women detach from this toxic ex and move on to better guys.
See, men don't actually change until you actually give them an irreversible consequence, which is why it's best to be the one that got away and stay away, because you finally put him in a position where he didn't get what he wanted. And a lot of them change too, just not for you. The kicker is you gotta stay away from him for it to work. The con of that is his new and improved energy is gonna be used on the next woman. You remained in a box because you were there in the first place. You were always the lesson, never the girlfriend. And no longer having access to you shatters his ego to pieces more than it does his feelings. Because now he has to settle for a roster woman who can't do the same amount of stuff as you did as selflessly as you could. That gives him a moment of clarity, but only over an extended period of time. Now, even though he has you in a box, he still hates losing more than he likes liking you. Men only change for the ones that got away and stayed away because it gives them a sense of clarity, even if they didn't care about you to begin with. But the principle that's in their mind is the consequence that transpires out of it. This means running back for him for good behavior usually ain't gonna work out. If he's getting desired results from doing less, what room for improvement would he personally need?
A lot of us men, we regret losing a good woman in our life, and we don't realize what we really do to them. She cooked, she cleaned, she was only entertaining you, and what were you doing? You were entertaining other women on Instagram, Facebook, you were DMing, you were messaging them. Because you weren't satisfied because maybe your woman didn't have a big butt as theirs. Maybe you wanted somebody with bigger boobs. I just don't understand because those women didn't have a heart like your wife or your girlfriend. So you go out and you seek the women you see on social media and you think you have a chance. And as soon as you catch one, you start realizing they're not what you thought they were. They weren't cooking like your wife. They weren't cleaning. They were entertaining multiple people, not just yourself. And they were infatuated with the social media comments. And you fucked up. A lot of our minds are getting addicted to this social media, and we realize that we're living in a world where people are not satisfied because they're looking at social media and think they can always get better. But to be honest, you don't realize you had the best, and you messed up. You messed up.
That guy is going to regret leaving you for another woman. And you're sitting here wondering and asking yourself, is it going to be 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 2 months from now, 2 days from now? I can't answer that, but all I know, they always regret leaving the woman that they actually did love, but treated like shit. And usually the woman that he left you for is just for a good time, not really a long time. And the crazy thing about it, this guy that was dating the other woman, she doesn't realize that how she got him is how she's definitely going to lose him. She got him when he was in a relationship. She's gonna lose him to another relationship. And listen, when that guy actually tries to come back, do not take his ass back. You wanna know why? Because he chose you second. You're not a second option. You are not a third option. You are the only option. He's trying to spin the block on a woman where he thought he could come back, circle back around while he was playing the field and doing whatever the fuck it is he wanted to do. But it's always too late when they realize this woman was the woman they wanted to actually be with. If you happen to be in a toxic relationship like this right now, and a guy's trying to come back and he does this time and time again, and you don't know how to detach, go snag my new book. I teach you how to detach, how to attract better men, and how to date better quality men.
Nothing, and I mean nothing, will scar a man more in his life than realizing he let a good woman go. For why he did it, insecurity, jealousy, not feeling good enough, it will literally haunt him for the rest of his life, watching that woman get the man that she deserves to be with, because he just simply could not step up to the plate.
Have you guys ever messed up a relationship, or has a relationship ever fell apart where the woman or girl did believe in you? Or do you think that that's just do you think that that's a relationship that you weren't supposed to be in? Like, she did support you, she did, you know, all these things that we're talking about.
You fucked up a relationship where a girl believed in you. I think that's one of the only times in life you should look back. Spin the block, see what's there, see if you can make it work. Because that, bro, and I'll say this from experience, one of the worst feelings in the world is when something happens to you and you bring that home to your girl, whereas the girl that believed in you would normally get excited, and you go, yo, baby, I did this thing. And she goes, oh, cool, goes to her phone. And you think about how the girl that believed in you, that you screwed over, would have been like, oh my God, I'm making a cake. Like, that's what we value. That's what I want more than anything in the world, bro.
Men always regret losing a good woman because once she's gone, their life fucking crumbles. They soon realize it was her love and spiritual protection that was keeping it together. At first, they're relieved because they know you're sad. They expect you to beg and cry whilst they're chasing temporary gratification, but it destroys them later down the line because they lost the spiritual shield that you provided. You prayed for them, you believed in them, you spoke life into their dreams when no one else did. A relationship with a good woman is a gift from God, and when a man fails to appreciate it, it's as if he's rejecting God's blessing. So God makes him experience all the consequences, especially if he hurt you. His life becomes chaotic, unstable, and nothing can fill the void. Once time passes and the grief finally catches up to them, they soon realize just how much you sacrificed, how much you endured, how much your prayers added to their life that they didn't even acknowledge. You were so patient, so forgiving, and that's usually the time that they come back. But by that time, you're thriving, you know your worth, and you've elevated your life to the point of no return because you understand the pain of being unappreciated outweighs the pain of change. God removed him from your life to protect you from further harm, and that relationship did not align with the plans that God had for you because you are destined for more. You no longer waste any of your prayers on him. Instead, you pray for yourself, and if you are truly a good woman, then the blessings flow to you at such a miraculous rate because you've liberated all this energy that you just exhausted on him. God does not curse a man that loses a good woman, but he allows them to feel the full weight of your absence. Your departure can be a massive wake-up call for them, prompting them to change, to take accountability, and to actually grow. They realize your importance and they come back to you as a better version of themselves, so that the second time around the relationship can actually flourish. Men always regret losing a good woman because once she's gone, their life fucking crumbles. They soon realize it was her love and spiritual protection that was keeping it together. At first, they're relieved because they know you're sad. They expect you to beg and cry whilst they're chasing temporary gratification, but it destroys them later down the line because they lost the spiritual shield that you provided. You prayed for them, you believed in them, you spoke life into their dreams when no one else did. A relationship with a good woman is a gift from God, and when a man fails to appreciate it, it's as if he's rejecting God's blessing. So God makes him experience all the consequences, especially if he hurt you. His life becomes chaotic, unstable, and nothing can fill the void. Once time passes and the grief finally catches up to them, they soon realize just how much you sacrificed, how much you endured, how much your prayers added to their life that they didn't even acknowledge. You were so patient, so forgiving, and that's usually the time that they come back. But by that time, you're thriving, you know your worth, and you've elevated your life to the point of no return because you understand the pain of being unappreciated outweighs the pain of change. God removed him from your life to protect you from further harm.
Not every breakup hits a man the same way, but let me tell you, when a man realizes that he lost a real one, the regret is real. These things are what really makes a man regret losing his woman. Number one, the genuine love and the support. When he looks back and realizes that you were his biggest supporter, you were the one who believed in him even when he didn't believe in himself, that is a tough loss to swallow. Number two, the emotional safety and understanding that she gave him. Now, men don't always open up, but when men finally find somebody to help them open up and be vulnerable, that's rare. So losing that kind of connection definitely stings. Number three, it's the peace over the drama. Ladies, if you've brought peace into his life instead of chaos, trust me when I tell you, when you leave, it's a big difference. And he definitely notices the difference once you gone. Number four, having a woman who helped him grow. If you challenged that man to be better, pushed him toward his goals, you helped him mature, the impact does not fade, especially when he realizes all women are not doing that. Number five, the sickest part of it all, when she moves on and glows up. Nothing, and I mean nothing, makes a man reflect harder than seeing his ex-woman move on and up, genuinely being happy without him. The truth is, men do not always process regret immediately, but when they do, it's usually because they lost a woman who added value to their lives. Share this if you know your worth. Make sure y'all follow me for more tips. And if you need a one-on-one coaching session with me, the link is in my bio. King Crane. Peace.
Qualities. This is probably the most underrated feminine quality that most men find completely irresistible when it comes to women. What most women think men find attractive is that cold, disconnected, model-like, sexy vibe. But the truth is, it's quite the opposite. What men really like is that playful nature that some women have about them. And I'm not necessarily talking about like drunken fun at a party type of thing, but rather you finding something to be ridiculously funny while you're waiting in line at the post office or the coffee shop. Or giving a coworker a playful look when the new customer comes in with a ridiculous haircut. What we really like is a person who doesn't take themselves too seriously. You see, life is serious enough all by itself. What we really want is that playful, positive energy to rub off on us as well.
3 types of women that every single guy will fall in love with, part 2. And if you are even one of these types of women, guys will notice and they will take you more seriously. Starting off with number 1, we got the girls who are like the mothers of their friend group. And maybe you don't know what I mean, but I'm talking about the girls that take care of their friends. Like, maybe you guys will go to a party. There's always that one girl that makes sure that everybody gets home safe and that nobody does anything too dumb. When guys see this, it is so attractive. Like, it is such wife energy. These are the type of girls that guys actually want to marry. And the second type are girls that have a big nose. I don't know what it is with girls thinking that other girls' noses are too big or that noses are ugly, because guys do not see it like that at all. Nearly every single guy that I've talked to agrees that having a big nose for a girl is attractive. And I personally have never ever seen a girl that was ugly and had a big nose. And lastly, we got girls that use the slick tone method. And you guys know what you're doing when y'all are using this method because it makes every single guy miss you. And not just that, but they will stalk your Instagram like crazy. And you can check to see who is stalking you by hitting the arrow in the bottom right corner and then hitting Instagram direct. And any guy that pops up on that list, they still like you.
So today we're going to talk about the 7 types of women that men take seriously immediately. Now I gotta admit, I didn't know this was a thing. I saw a couple questions like this in my comments, and I saw a few videos like this online where they were women asking, how can I be taken seriously? That sounds crazy to me. I didn't know this was a thing. There's men out there not taking women seriously? I guess I was ignorant to that. But it is a thing that needs to be talked about, so I am here to talk about it. In understanding the mind of men, that's what I talk about on this channel. 7 types of women that men take seriously immediately. The first one is a woman who knows her worth. And not just that, she is very open with and free with telling her worth. Now it's funny because certain men, to a certain type of men, these type of women can be intimidating to them. It could be a turn off to them. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. But a woman who knows her worth doesn't settle for anything less. A woman who knows her worth is strong in who she is and what she deserves. A woman who knows her worth most likely has a great support system that got her there, that taught her how to know her worth. She is not dumb. And also a woman who knows her worth has most likely been through a lot. So therefore she has experience in dealing with certain type of men. So a woman who announces her worth, who tells her worth freely and openly, men will most likely take seriously because they know she is serious. Women who don't know their worth are unsure in their movements. They're unsure in their composure. They're not strong in the things they say. And therefore a lot of men won't believe her, or they'll try to change her. They'll try to break her because they don't feel like her foundation is strong. But a woman who shows she has strong foundation, that shows that she knows her worth, you can't decrease her value. That's like going to a Lamborghini dealership, right? And you see the new Lamborghini Huracan, and you're like, you know what? I think you're worth $70,000. That sales rep is gonna look at you like you got 3 heads. Bruh, these start at $200,000, and that's just the cheap version. So what are you talking about? You are not gonna devalue our Lamborghinis because we know their worth. This is not a market. We are not going to bid on the price. This is the price. Either you are with it or you're not. When she tells you her value, either you are with it or not, because she knows her value. There is no wiggle room. You are not going to change her value, bro. When dudes see that, they have to take her seriously. They have to take you seriously. The second type of woman that men take seriously immediately is a woman who knows what she wants and doesn't settle for less. So for instance, you're dating and you tell this person, I want this, or I'm looking for this. I'm not looking to play around. I want a solidified relationship. Or I'm not looking to get married right now. I just got out of a marriage. I just got recently divorced. Or I'm looking for someone who's going to compliment me because I'm pretty deep in my career right now. I need someone to compliment that lifestyle. Whatever it is, you know what you want, and not just want, you know what you need, and you're strong on that. A man is going to take that seriously. And if he doesn't, he's going to fail, because anything that doesn't complement to what you're needing, what you announce that you are needing, it's a waste of time. Another example, that's like going to the doctor's office and saying, hey doc, I think I hurt my foot the other day. I was walking and I tripped over my dresser, and I think I cracked the bone, because every time I walk on my right foot, it hurts. And I've never felt this before. What do you suggest? And imagine a doctor saying, you know what? Don't worry about the foot right now. I see you got some spots on your arm. Let me suggest a dermatologist for you and get that corrected. And you're like, bro, I didn't come here for this. I came here for my foot. I know what I need to get taken care of. I don't need you suggesting anything else. I need to get this taken care of because this is serious. This is painful. Let's worry about this right now, okay? You know what you want and you know what you need, and she's not going to settle for less. Women who are strong in that, untouchable. The third type of woman that I want to bring up that men take seriously is a woman who doesn't just agree to make you feel correct or make you feel good. Have you ever talked to someone or heard a conversation where not just a woman, but anybody, a man, they're just saying, yeah, oh yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, you got a point there. And they're just agreeing to make the other person feel right. But inside their minds, and based on their temperament and how they're acting, they don't even agree with the person. But because they don't want to start nothing, or they don't want to start no beef, or they don't want to make the person mad, or make them feel wrong, or make them feel a certain type of way, they agree. They go against the things they believe to make somebody else feel good. So they're sacrificing themselves for someone else's feelings, or for someone else, period. A woman who does not do that, a woman who literally tells you that she does not agree with what you said or what you did, will more times than not get taken seriously by men. Because now the man, in his mind, he's like, oh, we got some complexity right here. A certain type of man is going to take that in an intimidating way. Some type of men will take you as an argumentative woman. Some type of men will say, oh, you're just being difficult, because they don't agree with you. Now, whether you're right or you're wrong, everyone has their opinion on something, especially when it is something opinionated based and it's not factual. You do not have to agree to someone else's opinion if you don't believe in it. It is simple as that. A woman who does not do that is taken seriously, because they know she's going to speak her mind no matter what. And that leads me to my next type of woman that men take seriously immediately, is a woman who isn't afraid to speak her mind in a healthy manner. Now, there's a difference between a person who is speaking their mind and a person who is speaking their mind in a healthy manner. Because you can speak your mind, you can scream it, you can yell it, you can argue it, you can debate it, you can force it down someone's throat. You can speak your mind. But the way you speak your mind is how you get taken seriously. The best way to curse someone out is not use any curses at all. The best way to shut someone down is to remain calm. The best way to shut someone's loudness and firestorm coming out their mouth is to remain calm and tell facts. The most effective way to win a battle is to not fight fire with fire, but to remain yourself no matter what.
Ladies, let me give y'all a little bit of tea, a little bit of sauce. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to put y'all on how men be running their rotations. And I'm going to give y'all some insight so you can see where you fall in line in whatever man's life that you dealing with, all right? So listen. All right, so listen. First off, you got the favorite, John. You know what I'm saying? You going to know if you the favorite. Because the favorite usually the one you on the fence about. Don't knowing if you want to cuff or you want to keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You the one that he on the balance about. The favorite usually the one who getting more exclusivity. You know what I'm saying? Like the one he bringing around friends, parents. Y'all going on dates and stuff like that. And honestly, the favorite probably not even the one that treat him the best. That's usually how it goes, bro. Like naturally, you gonna chase harder for the one who playing hard to get and stuff like that. You know, that's just how it goes. So if you got a dude who be pursuing you hard and he be going out his way for you and stuff like that, you probably the favorite. Next, you got old reliable. Old reliable, the one who just always gonna pull through. You know what I'm saying? He in that jam, he hit you up, oh, I need $20 for this. You gonna send it to him. Whenever he tell you to pull up, you gonna drop everything you doing to pull up. Whenever he's saying he gonna come see you, you gonna free up your time for him to come see you. Honestly, old reliable gets treated the most like an option just because you are so available to him. 9 times out of 10, old reliable usually the best one for you. Like old reliable really the one who should be the favorite. She the most down for you. She mess with you the most. She actually like you, care about you and stuff like that. Like old reliable really should be the one you mess with, but it just don't be going like that. But this always the one when everything is said and done and say y'all not messing with each other no more. That's the one that you actually like, damn, like I miss her. Next, you got the freak or the friends with benefits. This usually the coolest joint on the roster. This the one she not tripping about what you doing. You not tripping about what she doing. She know what it is. Y'all know what I'm saying? Y'all could talk about y'all other situations. Y'all could talk about a bunch of stuff because there's that boundary of like, we know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Sex hitting every time. Afterwards, you not in a rush to get her out your face just because she mad, cool, and chill. You low-key be wanting to mess with her just because y'all get along so well. But just because you be hearing about all the player stuff she be doing, you just can't. A lot of the times, this is a John who been around for a while, you know what I'm saying? Like, whenever y'all get in relationships, y'all know what it is, so y'all stop talking. But whenever y'all both single, y'all be rekindling and stuff like that, and it just be chill. So I hope this help y'all, you know, drop a comment below and tell me about your situation. Tell me where you fall in, where you think you fall on the roster, all right?
3 types of women that guys cannot resist. If you're any of these types of women, especially the last one, guys will always fall in love with you. I don't know what it is. 1. The mysterious girl. A lot of girls think that being outside all the time, posting a lot, or that seeing that guy every single day is gonna make him fall in love. Doing all of that honestly does the opposite. We already know everything about you, so there's nothing for us to figure out. But if you're not posting, it raises a mystery. And he's probably gonna be like, wait, what is she up to? I need to know more. A lot more guys are gonna be stalking you as well. If you press share, go over to Instagram Direct, a list of people will pop up. If you see mostly guys on that list of people that pop up, you are being mysterious enough and a lot of guys like you. 2. This has to be the girl that uses the slick tone method. But it's mostly the girls that don't force the method. Some of you do this method naturally without even knowing. Doing the slick tone method works for breakups, works for talking stages. It'll work on any guy you want. If you seriously don't know what the slick tone method is, comment slick tone method and I'm sure someone will tell you. 3. The girl who has money. I'm not gonna lie, most of the girls in this generation don't have money. So if a guy sees that you do, you're gonna stand out to him. It's gonna make him jealous that you have more than he does. Trust me, guys cannot resist a woman who makes money.
This is 3 types of women that guys cannot resist. If you're any of these dudes, guys will always fall in love with you. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna put y'all on. The first thing, it's the mysterious girl, bro. A lot of ladies think that posting the most, you get what I'm saying, being outside all the time, seeing that guy every single day, that's gonna make him fall in love with it. Low key does the opposite. There was this one girl I like, bro, and she was just posting way too much. I was like, nah, like she's just showing too much about herself. Like when you just post too much, it's like nobody wants to hit you up because there's no mystery. Versus when you're not posting, it raises like that mystery, like, what is she up to? Dudes will start stalking you. I told y'all how to know which dudes are stalking. If you press the share, you just go hit Instagram direct. If you have a bunch of guys in there, those are probably the ones stalking you. The second I have to say is a girl who uses the slick tone method. Look, don't force it. You get what I'm saying? But some of y'all be unconsciously or subconsciously doing the slick tone method, and then you wonder why so many guys chase. I'm telling you, it's because you're doing the slick tone method. Like, it works after breakups. It literally works if you want a new guy to text you. Like, slick tone method, bro. If you do that, you're getting any guy you want. I'm not gonna lie. The third one is the girl who has money. Most girls, I'm not gonna lie, they're broke in this generation. And ladies, you don't realize it, but we live in one of the easiest generations to make money. And I'm not even just saying that to say that. Like, I literally drive crazy cars, make this in a couple months. It's almost like, 500K? All I do is I run online stores. I know y'all gonna ask to learn. Ladies, if you wanna learn, DM me the word e-com on IG. This one girl that's in my group almost made 2.3K just yesterday. Like I said, just go to my IG, DM me the word e-com. I'll put y'all ladies on. But if you're any of these, just know you can pull any guy you want.
What kind of women do men chase? Let me keep it all the way to 1,000. Let me keep it all the way funky. Just to let you know, there are levels to guys, right? And those levels are not based off of looks or status or anything, even though it's going to be a factor, but it's really based off of experience and knowledge, right? When you're less experienced with women, or you don't have control over your impulses or your emotions, you're gonna be chasing. You're gonna be chasing a lot of things in life, right? But I would say the type of girls that guys end up chasing are usually girls that were good to them, that ended up leaving them and moving on, or girls that were very manipulative, like they knew how to play mind games and shit like that. But once you get wiser, that shit don't even bother you.